drink cold coffee.
These cars, and I'm glad we finally got something to show for it.
That'd be a lot. It's pretty special. Now what we got to do is win the race. Tim White's and Tim Horvath. Chris White's and Tim Horvath from HD5 and 5-star bodies.
Put kind of bloated today.
Me too.
I feel like I'm about 3 months pregnant here.
Couple more things here.
Take my Sprite with me.
We had 2 people according to racing that passed away just a few
And my
months ago.
glasses.
One was Jamie Williams, one of our great Snowball Derby photographers. In honor of Jamie Williams, we had a competition for the best photo of the week.
Michael Hine, best appearing car.
The winner of that competition was Carl Noodle. I wanted to get this plaque in memory of Jamie Noodle.
Sounds like we are live.
We are live on the YouTubes.
Jamie Williams Award. Also, this race car hood down here in memory of Strange Ovals, Jeff Sandlin, who also sadly passed away.
All right. Now we're ready to go here.
Months ago. Kyle Noodleman.
300 big ones.
That's
right.
Photo of the Week Award.
Obviously, the strategy real early on will be to just write it out. Oh, Kyle Noodleman get best photo. Nice. I wonder what that photo was.
There's one more thing we want to do, and then we'll get the stage out of here and get to our pre-race ceremonies. See this steering wheel?
Get that stage out of here.
That is the NP1 award that goes to the winner of the Snowball Derby. We understand that this trophy is the big one, but the steering wheel, also the NP1 award, goes to the winner, along with the Tom Dawson Snowball Derby trophy. All right, just a couple of seconds, and we'll get to pre-race ceremonies.
We welcome all you fans watching live on Flow Racing. Still a few minutes before we crank the engines and drop the green flag for the 57th running of the Snowball Derby.
Breakfast brought to you by Culver's was
If you're on the
absolutely
front stretch,
excellent.
we ask drivers to get next to your cars. We also ask any unnecessary personnel to clear the front stretch now. If you're on the front stretch, we need to clear the front stretch as we get set to crank the engines and roll the cars off the grid. We welcome all you fans live and in person right here at Five Flag Speedway. Let's send it trackside to Bill Roth.
All right, everybody, welcome officially to the 57th Annual Snowball Derby. We're glad you're here. We're going to get
Here we
everything
go.
underway, and I don't know where you're from. Anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world, here in
We got our
Pensacola,
national anthem today, I
at
wonder.
Five Flag Speedway, this is how we do it. We're going to ask you to please
I don't know.
rise, remove your hats. We're going to go to the Lord in prayer. Then we're going to have God Bless America, present the colors, and the nation's #1 song, the national anthem. Let's have our invocation, our track chaplain from the Liberty Church celebrating his birthday today. Here's Wayne Butts.
Thank you, Bill. May we pray together. I turn my eyes to the hills. Is this where my help comes from? No, my help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. And Lord, we turn to you right now, asking that you would be here in your presence with all the festivities and the racing activities and things that are going on, Lord. Keep us all safe, sound, enjoy the sport of racing, and keep our eyes turned toward you as we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Wayne. Please remain standing. From Pensacola, God Bless America, from Robert Frubble.
God bless America,
Good.
land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night
done right,
with
guys?
the light from above.
Nope. Looking good.
From the mountains to the prairies,
Does the Tom Dawson come back to Wisconsin
White
again?
with foam. God bless
I don't know.
America. My home.
I liked your pick earlier of a new winner.
Yeah.
God bless America.
I just got that sick feeling in my bones. It's going to be nasty, Bubba.
Sweet home.
I could see the place burning down either way.
Please remain standing
Yep.
as the Escambia County Sheriff's Department presents our colors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with our nation's #1 song, here is the Gulf
Our nation's #1
Coast
song.
Chorale.
Why would we gotta say it like that?
I don't know.
Who did? So I had.
Oh, you're looking up picks.
Yeah.
So I can do it real quick.
I had Thorn.
Let's see. So you had Massey and Thorne. Cam had Pollard and Sammy Smith.
And you
And
had.
I had Majeski and Ruggiero.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. This place has just got Bubba, though. That's the thing about this is like, whether it's his own doing or not, he just this event in particular just has his number. Dude can win Blizzard Series races left and right, but
How about it, everybody? And for the Saberhawks, the TC45C and VT86 with our flyover from NAS Pensacola.
all 6 of our guys locked in,
Snowball
Yep.
Start your engine times.
which is impressive.
But you've also got the driver the farthest back.
Yep.
As the stage rolls away, the track clears. Drivers starting to strap in. Here we go. The biggest race in America. Moments away. Let's send it back to Bill Roth.
Something crazy is going to happen today.
50-50 is going to be worth a lot of money today. You can get those tickets before.
Dude's got full
green.
trench coat here.
It's
Bottom of the
not only going
screen.
to be worth what it's worth today,
Hmm?
but we had
He's
no
got a full
50-50
trench coat.
winner a couple of nights ago. We rolled that amount into today's amount. $997.50 will be added to today's 50-50
Ooh.
amount. Another thing
So
that I
basically,
hope
spot
you saw, maybe
you
can see
spot
on
you
the way
$1,000
out,
up
the
front.
show car of Gary Ballou. The great Gary Ballou has brought his show car here. If you know anything about asphalt or dirt track short racing in the last 2 or 3 decades, you know who my buddy Gary Ballou is.
Just partying on the inside of turn
Heck
3.
yeah.
And as the drivers
Pretty
strap
solid
in,
spot to be.
Actually, yeah.
Ansley Brown, can you come to the front straight away?
So that Super Series trailer
we'll
there.
have a few more special dignitaries. Miss Snowball Derby, if you'll come to the front stretch. We've got some
Snowball
special
Derby.
things for some special
Matt
folks
Craig.
here at the Snowball Derby.
Maybe it wouldn't be.
What an event it has been already from Thursday to this very moment. It is a collection of amazing people from around the country for what has been turned into a celebration of racing.
Those Majeski
And
go
we're
back
just
to
a
back.
few hours away from crowning another.
I think he's got a damn good chance of it.
Well, here comes. We already told you who she is. She's a lovely lady.
Won't you see Nolan calling the rear
This
end
is
of
this is
star?
like the
No,
coronation.
what?
She had to have
Oh, yep, I just see him pop up.
Yep, he just-
And of course, he's got the slinger shirt on.
Yep. Tells you that, but you've been doing a great job. Ansley Brown from Pensacola, everybody. Miss
Yep.
2024
That's
Snowball Derby. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You've got some big
He's
shoes
for
to
sure
fill. We
strapping
had
the
a great
GoPros
one
in there.
last year, Berkeley Hart, but even before that, Kaylee Jordan. How are you enjoying it so far?
I'm enjoying it so much.
Hey.
I'm just super grateful to be here
What you
tonight
doing?
and today to represent Five Flag Speedway at the Snowball Derby. It's been a dream of mine to be crowned Miss Snowball Derby, and so having the honor, I'm super grateful. Thank you.
What's the most fun about being
You
in
know.
the Snowball Derby for 2 weeks? I know what I think it would be, but what's it for you?
Meeting all the little girls and the fans and taking photos, I think I really enjoy it.
And what's your advice to those little girls?
So chase your dreams, don't give up. You're going to go through battles, but just face them and fight, and you got it.
How about it, everybody? Miss Snowball Derby, that's Ansley Brown, hometown lady from Pensacola.
Oh.
We have a
Hometowner.
Grand Marshal, the Snowball Derby
Yeah,
every
Snowball.
year. I'm really excited about this Grand Marshal.
Well, we got guys buckled in.
I've known him forever, and he's meant a lot.
Should
to
be
this race.
2 minutes or so we'll be getting the
If you're
command.
from Pensacola, you watched Channel 3 for however many years, the ABC affiliate, the sports director all that time.
Gillen,
This
oldest
guy,
driver in the field.
Dan
Mhm.
Shugart, welcome to the Snowball Derby.
Richie
Thank you,
Dickel
Bill.
next
This
year.
is a delight to be here in a different capacity. And after the first one I came to in 1981, I sat over in Rusty Wallace's pits. We have walls now, and the race has come so far. And I know Bob had talked about it earlier. The fans here in the stands are really what make it. And I appreciate, just from my perspective, all you have done for racing, all the Bryant family's done for racing, and what a great event this is to be a part of.
This isn't just a race, this is an event. So
Well,
it was really hard to get media coverage for any racing for years and years and years. You were at WEAR for what, 115 years?
43.
43 years. I have to tell you, folks, Dan Shugart has always been on the side of the coverage of motorsports. Over at Mobile, where we raced, here at Five Flag Speedway, where we raced, Dan Shugart has been on top of it. Unfortunately, he's retired now, but I just want to take this minute to say we want to thank you, Dan Shugart.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure every year, and it's an event I've always looked forward to, even more so as the years have gone
chasing the
on.
media off.
What's the best thing about this? I think, as an other media guy, it's common guys doing uncommon things to me. Is that what it is for you?
To me, it's the energy. There's
The
a
Campy
passion
boys are
here
ready
that
to
just
rock
is
and
not
roll.
matched. And again, it comes back to the fans, it comes to the drivers, and the level and how incredibly high level of competition it has become, and just the energy. It's infectious. It draws you in.
In all of your career, in just a few seconds, you're going to have the most important job that you've had in your life. Let's make sure that everybody's going to get ready. I think we're a few
There we
seconds
go.
away. We'll tell you again about 50-50, folks. Those tickets on sale until these cars hit the green flag. Somebody's going to win a lot of money, and we will give that money away during the first yellow flag when people can hear us. Let's make sure all these drivers are ready, because we are anxious to get this 57th annual Snowball Derby to the green flag and underway. How about that flyover? Was that not spectacular? Just like the Daytona 500 right here at the Snowball Derby from NAS Pensacola and those Saberhawk jets. We're also delighted to see DJ Vanderlei here. That was a terrible
Make a post on the Instagram.
mini sprint car accident he suffered 2 years ago in Texas. He and his family have persevered and persevered and persevered. He's still the engineer for a NASCAR team, and we were delighted to have one of the best drivers that ever raced on this track here with us, DJ Vanderlei, today. Are you ready? With the most famous words in motorsports, our Grand Marshal, Dan Shugart.
Drivers, start your engines.
Here we go. Yup. And we have fire.
Feeling like no other. The cars aligned on the front stretch here at Five Flags Speedway. 36 strong of the best super late model racers in the country from all over the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast. These guys are fans to the bone, and they will be competing for 300 laps today in the Snowball Derby. We have champions from all over the place. It is the experience versus the young guys here today. Those trying to make a name for themselves and get to the big leagues of NASCAR. And then others that are trying to go after another Snowball Derby like it. I tell you what,
Man.
I'm blessed to be here. This one is
My boy Nasty.
57th running of the Snowball Derby at
230.
Bob, we echo those sentiments as well. We are all blessed to be here, as are the fans who are getting set to enjoy 300 laps of the most important short track action of
Where
the
would you
year.
set?
The 57th
Finish line or down in turn one?
presented by Flow Sports.
I feel like you kind of got to go down turn one. If there's anywhere I feel like it's kind of Calamity Corner,
It's down there. Yep.
turn one.
Sitting in turn one almost kind of gives you it's a big Dells feel almost. You know?
Energy is huge. It builds up during the week. It's been a great week of racing here in 2020.
You look down there, you can kind of see the cars coming head on at you in the front stretch.
For the Tom Dawson Trophy, 4 former winners in the field today, 6 rookies making their first Snowball Derby start. Carson, you've run in this race before. You're taking it in from a different perspective, joining us. Thank you for that. I mean, look at this pageantry. What are the nerves right now for some of these drivers?
And I don't know if the nerves are with the drivers or if they're with the crew chiefs right now, because, you know, obviously there's a high prestige as a driver, but the drivers kind of know what they got. Their job is to just drive the race car. The crew chiefs is the one that's
one of our favorite races of the year.
Yep. They don't know 100% what they're going to get. It's warmer today than it has been for the last 2 weeks that they've been testing, you know, in advance or during the week. But these
it's overcast too,
so many
so
options. We talk about how much practice was in it.
This baby should be gripped up.
Involved that they have so many options. They've tried everything. That they're bits and pieces. When they're at the end of it, they're bits and pieces of it that they're working and taking. You know, we were good in this run. We were good in this run. They're taking bits and pieces. I think most nervous right now are the crew chiefs, drivers. They know what lines to hit by now, but they're going to be a little antsy and wanting to get going. Track position, that's their nervous part. Their cars, crew chiefs, are up and down pit road real nervous right now.
Dude,
They mentioned that all that practice over the last week or a week plus for some of these teams that came down and did testing, but now we've got different weather than we've had.
Also kind of surprised how many different offerings they have for testing for this. Guys have just been testing down there like left and right the week before Monday. Like,
you had 2 days of practice. You had happy hour after qualifying.
Yep.
How tight the field was. Everybody was so super close.
Talk about getting a car dialed in.
Yeah.
Track change a little bit as the race goes from day to night. The track gets
Make 1,000 laps.
that anybody can show up and just get a little bit of an edge. The tiniest
Ooh, Bubba in car.
will put you out in front of this field with no doubt.
That would be an entertaining place to be for sure.
And that all matches up at the right time and making the right adjustments. Everybody, I've gotten mixed reviews. Everybody thinks it's going to be tight. Everybody thinks it's going to be free. It's who gets it right and who gets it right at the right time. Second closest field that we have ever
you're
had.
talking way back. Is that Nancy?
I wonder if that's Nancy.
Last night, Snowflake 100.
Yep. So Bubba and Nancy have in cars. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that way we know what happens
when they get together. Come on, Jim, turn your mic on.
Last night he won his very first Snowflake 100. It's a one-lap probate model race with a different car, different team, but the attitude and the thrill of winning here has not waned on his Anthony Gaffney Racing team. He is a driver that is expected to be in contention today again at the Snowball Derby. He was 18 laps shy of his first Snowball Derby a year ago when he and Bubba Pollard made contact, costing them both their first chance at the Tom Dawson Trophy. He raced from 24th to win last night. He is starting 30th today. He's talked about how we were put a show on for the fans, but this Anthony Gaffney.
You know who I think might have a say in this, and I didn't I shouldn't say I didn't expect it, but I did a little bit. Honeycutt.
It's got the Wood Brothers looking 21 on there too.
The black and gold.
Yeah.
He's the winningest driver here during the Blizzard Series at Five Flags Speedway. He's got a ton of championships here as well, but he has not won the Snowball Derby in 17 tries. Could today be the day for the first time ever? He does have a teammate in Sammy Smith. He's got 3 new cars that he brought down here. Bubba Pollard has thrown the kitchen sink at this race here today. It's a race that he wants to win. Man, does not ever want to retire until hoisting that Tom Dawson trophy, guys.
Thanks, gentlemen. As you see the cars continuing to circulate on their parade and pace laps, all of the energy, all of the effort, all of the work and anticipation bringing us to this moment. By 9 a.m. this morning, all the race teams were told their haulers have to be removed from the infield. By 9:05, the infield was lined with many fans who already started their tailgates, parties, and their predictions, which we will have the opportunity to
Here we go.
But first, the green flag. Glad you're with us on Flow Racing. Ty Majeski brings us down for the start, and the 57th annual Snowball
Just nice and easy here, boys.
Yeah. Oh man, what a camera shot.
Majeski takes the
Whoa.
lead. Crossover move in turn 4 already. Honeycutt wants to lead lap 1, but it's Ty Majeski, the 2-time winner out front. That was really impressive by Honeycutt to be able to do that.
Race guys, it's lap
I
1.
was about to say, settle in here a little bit.
Oh, Connor Jones turned around.
Turnover 4 on the first lap of this race. Said during driver introductions, he wasn't quite sure how things were going to unfold. I don't think the
Well, that's one way that they unfolded.
organization thought that this would be a possibility on the opening go-around, as he is pretty much nosed up against the inside wall.
It's been a tough week for Connor Jones. He didn't
Damn it.
buy into the play.
Well, they can give away the 50-50 money right away.
But one of the weapon drivers racing in the Derby.
Didn't hit the wall. See if you got any help here.
Happened for Connor Jones.
Yeah, front end looks fine.
Yeah.
Just a moment as Jones gets it righted, and we'll get rolling once again. Take a look. Connor Jones further toward the right side. Of the
Oh,
screen.
they just kind of all
Little
set.
check up,
It was
yeah.
an accordion style deal, and Caden Waffle there had nowhere to go.
Take the car in front of Jones was at a Brent Cruz, but the stack up may have started a little bit further ahead. And Carson, the vantage point of these race cars, you also own one of these chassis that Chase Pinson ran yesterday in the pro race. Is it a little bit difficult to see through a couple of cars in front of you when that stack up happens?
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's hard to tell, honestly, especially too with the beginning of the
Now you
race
got
and
the
everything.
first
It's so
first few
tough to really
nerves
stack
out of the
up.
way.
Crew chiefs,
Yep.
spotters, everybody's just getting in the mix, trying to find the rhythm
For
and
sure.
all, trying to find the gap. And
No, I guess this is a good question. Do we have a choose here, or is it just the leader picks and everyone else goes opposite?
You mentioned the nervousness of some of the crews. Well, we only
You know what I mean?
lap people with
Yeah.
the yellow, so they don't know
Well,
how
the other
cars
thing,
are
too, is
going
two
to be
cash-
ahead. It was
caution
an
laps
impressive
count.
move for Honeycutt to try to do the crossover to take the lead back.
So it looks like they
I
do
think that's just
caution laps
Honeycutt's
count.
thing. He gave me the opening on the bottom of 3. I'd really love to lead lap 1 of a
At least
Snowball
according to
Derby.
Race Monitor.
Honeycutt's had a great week. He has raced in 4 different events this week, picked up the win in the trucks, fell out with the DNF in the modifieds the other night, but this is the big one, and he's had a great effort so far this week.
yeah, let's talk a bit about. Saw a lot of rooster tails tracks a little dirty.
Caden,
It's gonna be
that is.
cleaner on this restart.
Oh, he was the one that got into Jones because the hood is bent in a little bit. Probably just check and make sure the radiator's good.
I had the opposite line. The bottom's going to be a place to be, especially early in this race. As the track's dirty, they're going to clean it off, but it's going to start. It's going to take a little bit for the top to rubber or top to clean off, but track's going to be green. Track's going to be fast. So when it's fast, the bottom's really dominant. So with Honeycutt being able to cross over, we're going to see that a lot. People are going to be able to bail as we see Carson Quapple or King Quapple down on pit road trying to fix that damage.
And when you talk about the track being dirty, it's not that they didn't go out and sweep it or blow it off overnight.
Yeah.
There's nothing like getting 36 cars out on the racetrack up to speed. And in fact, the track has had plenty of help getting the track clean and dried this week with the rain that we had on Thursday. Owasso Speedway brought their jet dryers, had the Talladega
jet dryer here. NASCAR bringing one of the Air Tundras here to dry the track.
So the leader must pick, and they must go every other then.
Yeah. 36 cars at speed is going to bring that dust out of the cracks that didn't get picked up by the blowers.
Yeah, Eric talked about we took so many haulers out of the racetrack. That takes that dirt out on the racetrack. Tailgaters come in, they bring that track on the racetrack. But we put the race cars on the racetrack for an hour. They can't keep the Air Titans going. They can't keep it going, but the wind still keeps going. And, you see trees behind you, whatever the case may be. I know when we go to Winchester, there's trees down the backstretch. You're always worried about the leaves. They do their best, but there's the wind keeps blowing.
Oktoberfest to do with the leaves.
Yep, that's
so many fans.
Gonna get the real covered. It's a matter of how much can you manage it.
It just takes a lap or two, but that lap or two, I guarantee this restart's gonna be a little different, as well as Kajetski. He's gonna be.
As we're looking at this, by the way, as we're looking at the flag stand, Flagman has a shirt on for next year's Snowball Derby.
58th running in the Snowball Derby.
4th to the 7th.
Which we have.
They both started back on row 17 after racing their way in through the last chance race.
All right, so you got the dome on there. Got it.
Yep. It'll be interesting, Adam, to see if Honeycutt can try to size up that move again on what will be the second.
Put next year's dates in the trap.
6 laps in the books. 1 lap of green before the spin for Jones. Back underway in the restart zone in turn 4.
Back to green.
Restart. Now it's Honeycutt will try to get to the bottom. But here comes the 62 of Sawallich. Looks good. Bottom lane through turn 1 and 2. Honeycutt, great run off of the second corner as the racers on the tires where you can make that outside lane work. Sawallich trying to keep the fender inside of Honeycutt off for Majeski, clear by a little more than a car length. Here comes Sawallich all the way down to the inside wall. That's going to be pretty much all race long. And behind them,
the question becomes is just figure out what you got.
Yep.
And then you got to just find a pace to kind of ride for a while here.
Up to qualifying, got the car repaired, coming back out of the racetrack for just 1 run with a car that didn't show a lot of pace. Not only did he time his way into the field, he timed himself into the top 5, and he just got himself a spot up to 4th.
Krezik's got
amazing run.
Rocket right
He
now.
was not fast in practice, and when it comes to the qualifying runs, you're always looking for, and you've been in this position before, Carson, trying to find that little bit of magic for your run, and somehow that 14 team found it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough to do, but we see a train on the bottom of it. Anybody that could be lower than the next guy's going to get
Broke
around.
that shock more for Krezik. They welded it back on there, and the car was faster than ever.
On the yellow line, 28 of Butcher able to roll around him, and it looked like
MC Nasty in the top 30, so he's falling back.
They're right around the bottom.
32nd.
Well, the thing about it is you got to ride for it, but you just got to keep yourself on the lead lap.
Correct. Yep.
You have to be on the lead lap and just cannot go like
We see side by side battle again with Honeycutt down into 1.
Boys are having at it.
Oh, yeah. Freaking 12 laps into it. Relax.
Meanwhile, Majeski pulls away.
Yep.
Thorne just kind of biding his pace.
In the Snowball Derby with the 2 wins, could have possibly had a couple of more back in the live pit stop days as we watch some of the battles at the tail end of the top 5. Hayden Plybond right now, the 55 has it in the fifth spot. Derek Thorne started 7th, didn't qualify as well as we thought he would in this tight field.
Qualified 7th. He didn't qualify as good as you thought he would. Who? Thorne. The expectations for him to just qualify up front all the time are just insane.
Yep.
On the apron, under the apron, hit the inside wall, everything we could do as we got car around. That's Nick Loden in turn 2, I believe.
Another caution.
Second caution of the race coming here with 14 laps in the books. Ty Majeski has been the leader since we got the race restarted. Yellow number 1 in both instances, evidently involving single car spins. The left side of Loden's car looks no worse for the wear. We're trying to get a glimpse of the right side here. As you mentioned, Carson is happening over in the second corner with Loden.
One of 2 Corvettes in the field.
Yep.
Yep.
Nick Loden, I got to see him when he was super young. Worked with Dale Raver and AFCO and Quarter Midgets, someone I was very familiar with. But Nick Loden, very impressive. I was honestly shocked to see him on the entry list. So we're getting ready to see a Butler Racing replay. Big aerial shot, the yellow card. Just let your screen. Billy Van Meter gets
another one of those checkup
scenarios. Yep.
It's getting on board of Massey. You're gonna look for the yellow car up ahead of your screen.
Whoa.
It almost looked like they had one of those accordion style deals. They were all
The boys in the back are not playing nice right
No,
now.
they're not.
Van Meter didn't get checked up quite in time. Nothing intentional there. It didn't look as Loden ended up
being the one.
But it keeps these guys in the backs from getting pressure or staying out of the lap.
Well, correct.
If he lost a lap or two under this yellow flag, but an unfortunate break for Nick Logan, who was running in the Snowflake last night and the Derby here today.
Yeah, Nick's been a good story for me to catch our eye on, but I was going back to what I was saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Preston shocked and honestly a little bit more like, man, are you sure you should be here when I saw him on the entry list? Super good, but let's head down to Bob to get more for our Joe's Racing Pit reporter. Well, guys, honestly, they don't know exactly what happened there because they were just trying to ride. I spoke to Andy Luton, look, that is Nick's dad. He said, listen, he came across the radio and said he just got driven through impatience early on in this race. What Andy and Nick were talking about, trying to preach patience to Nick right now.
Interesting.
Stephen Nassie reminds us that he has not had a charge
Got driven through.
that we have expected. Granted, we've only run about 5 or 6 laps.
Okay. All right. Noted.
What's your driver saying now, counter-pressing Mike Garvey, about the handling early on?
Pretty happy with it right now. And, we're just maybe a touch free on exit. So hopefully that doesn't get too bad as we go through the run here. See how it goes, and we'll just maybe try to tighten up a little bit as we go.
I did hear him say on the Race Electronics scanner that I'm wearing, he said, I think I have a better turning car right now than the guys ahead of me. What do you guys do to combat that or improve that?
Well, that's good. I mean, you got to have a car turn here, but you also got to be able to get off the corners. So, I mean, we just got to make sure it doesn't transfer too far to the free side. If it does, we'll just have to work on it a little bit.
Mike Garvey turning the wrenches, and the right turns were made right before qualifying with all of these struggles that they had during the course of the week. They have a good race car. They have a really good driver in Connor O'Kresick, who has won a championship here at this racetrack, his home track before. He will be restarting this time on the outside of row number 2. We're ready for the restart. This time it will be 20 laps in at the line, with Jeske leading all of them so far. Back to green and underway again at the Snowball Derby.
Well, here we go. Back to racing.
Need to get some rhythm going here.
Yeah, I know.
Great launch by the Jeske on the bottom side of row number 1. Here's Sawallich and Honeycutt. Looks like these two have been side by side for virtually every green flag lap that we have run so far. Honeycutt trying to make the top side work off 4, and he is going to rip the top to return the spot. O'Kresick now dives low on Sawallich. Now, Honeycutt pinched Sawallich really aggressively, able to do that, take advantage of Kresick, able to get good drive off 2. Should be able to hopefully finish.
I hope the Schaefer Motorsports team putting together a rocket for him.
Yeah, him and Thorne have got a really good partnership going on. Thorne's ran a few races for Schaefer so far this year.
It's about minimizing and putting your guy on the inside who has the advantage at a disadvantage. Yeah, and Sawallich doesn't want to lose a bunch of spots right now. They're lined up, nose to tail, inside lane behind him. O'Kresick making the move on the low lane of Sawallich, and it looks like William will be able to get down and get in line. That will save him from losing a few more spots. As we are early on, looking for a decent green flag run, and I'm sure the crews would like to see that as well, so they know what their car's going to do on those runs. Yeah, I think so. Some do, and some don't. Really, some have that short run speed. Some haven't had the long run speed. So some are hoping short run, but the guys in the back, I know there's a lot of people that are worried that this first green flag run is going to be the toughest. It's going to be the easiest to go lap down and manipulate that. And if you go one down, all of a sudden that next run you're going 2, 3, and that just puts you at a disadvantage. The second you go one down,
and the Pollard prepared car. Whoa!
Contact there between Sammy Smith and the Bubba Pollard team car.
Fenhouse is looking at that going, hang on, guys.
Fenhouse up a few spots, up to 8th.
Yep.
Perhaps from the 8 car of Smith. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully he didn't knock the center down on the tire. As we watch this 8 car try to dive to the bottom of Hayden Flybot for this spot. Both cars wiggling off the corner. The other 8 car in this field was one of 3 that stopped into that last caution. If you see that pump and spoke again going into 1. Carson Quapple, Nicholas Noggle, Caden Lapsevich all came down on the last
Flybot's a little loose.
Yeah.
Here comes Luke Fenhouse in the 4.
Way up the track.
Yeah, he's got to lose some spots here. He's got a small train coming behind him.
Taking
the red.
That's always a A helpless feeling you get caught on the outside and the guys are lined up behind you, just waiting to go by.
See right here who's got it, who doesn't on race trim. Everybody can have really good speed. There was a few that I had circled potentially that would maybe be a question mark.
And I just can't get around right now, though.
I didn't see a lot of race trim fronts, but super fast qualifying trim. Obviously,
pinch him a little bit.
As cars become good, but you find out how good some of these cars are as he's fighting hard on the outside, and that's just going to hurt his tires even more. Butcher now to the inside. If he doesn't get down soon and at least cool down those tires, he might, keep bleeding these spots. We've seen Cole Butcher.
There's Majeski up front.
He qualified 15th for this race, but he's already up inside the
kind of checking out.
Crosses the line in 8th. Cole Butcher is on his way toward the front of the field, Eric. And I think another car trying to join him.
Well, there's Pollard, speak of the devil.
Was dove to the inside. You heard the reception from the crowd during driver introductions. Drivers trying to check off the biggest box that he's ever had in his racing career after what's been a very big year for him professionally. Made his Xfinity Series debut with Junior Motorsports at Richmond Raceway and garnered a top 10 effort with that run. He has now worked his way up the
pressure on Fenhouse
towards the front of the field. He's up to 9th. And here comes Cole Butcher to the inside of Luke Fenhouse, potentially for what would be 7th spot on the front stretch. Yeah, Butcher trying to keep low. We see it all the time in the NASCAR world, right? Trying to keep the left front fender, headlight out to keep clean air. Well, here you're just trying to get lower because lower just means more grip. We're going to talk about it all day, but just trying to be lower. You see the straight line drive. It almost looks like he's got more horsepower, but Butcher just able to keep that thing low and just constantly just trying to find racetrack that Luke Fenhouse is giving up. It's not air, it's not looking for, but just looking for fresh racetrack down there as we continue to see.
Flymon's struggling. He's got his hands full.
Trying to cut that rope of that anchor because he keeps falling back, constantly fighting that wheel down the straightaway even because that thing is loose and a handful right now with lack of grip as he might lose another here to Jake Garcia.
Nasty got that thing in the twos yet? Yeah, he does. 28th.
Time his way into this race on qualifying night on Friday. Now to the bottom of Flyvon as the 55 has fallen out of the top 10 with Garcia lining up on the inside. Chase Hansen in 13th just behind him. And Matt Craig, the runner-up in the Snowflake last night, would be the next car in line. And this 55 continues to get drop kicked up into that second groove. Jake Garcia coming off the big win at the All-American 400 at Nashville, racing to the inside currently of Hayden Flyvon. Garcia, former runner-up in the Snowball Derby. Jake Garcia moving forward.
55 just having a tough goal of it.
Direction here early on this afternoon. Might be a situation where you don't want to make an early pit stop to change tires, but an adjustment might be necessary for 55. He's fighting that thing. It doesn't, and you can see that wheel is turning right so much. But this is the point where he's got to remember he can really double down and make it worse for himself by being aggressive and trying to keep these spots. This is going to be the difference right here. He can double down. We might see him get lapped if he doesn't take care of it. You start to see
Majeski's lap traffic already.
There's a massive issue with Nicholas Nago there with the front end flying in the air. They obviously have some issue, or you said they came down to pit road. Maybe they didn't hook a spring or a bump stop right or whatnot because that thing looks like it has the ride shocks on it. As now, this is the struggle with some of these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Running really, really fast.
Things like an airplane trying to leave the ground. Good Lord.
Down here early on, Majeski has gone past the 400 laps Mark led in his career at the Snowball Derby. Here comes the 2-car, Chandler Smith. He got into the wall midway through one of the practice sessions yesterday. They got the car repaired. He gets around Fenhouse for a position inside the top 10. That's going to move Chandler up tonight. But Carson, you talked about the importance of not.
There's that Ron, Majeski, Honeycutter, Krezek, Sawalich, Thorne is your top 5. Sammy Smith, Cole Butcher, Pollard, Chandler Smith, Fenhouse, your top 10.
Multiple laps down for any reason. The race is pretty much over for the win. Yeah, it's like cup racing. The cup racing, our first run of the day, is the most stressful if you don't qualify because that is the fastest anybody's going. The track's the freshest. It's the hardest to pass. Everybody's not sure what they got. And the hardest point to lose track position is late in the race because everybody's got a point to tune themselves in and get good. Where right now, everybody has their different agendas. Nobody's sure what we have. This is going to be the biggest separation we see as the pack as we see cars kind of having gaps and trying to get themselves not driving good. Every time we do a pit stop,
Struggling.
that field's going to be closer and closer.
I was watching a driver that was one of the biggest movers toward the front was the 08 of Jace Hansen. He was started from the 20 up to 12, but I think he may have used some up because now I start to see him backpedal. We also saw some contact between John Bolin and Buddy Shepard there. Shepard up the track a little bit.
Well, what we don't see in our shot right here, Ty Majeski's only 2 or 3 cars behind them. That's the aggression. That's why. That is why the 2 car just muscled him out of the way for
Carson Qualple brothers also going to be a lap down here momentarily.
How important it is to stay on the lead lap. But they have that competition caution coming up shortly, or the controlled caution, whatever you have. So you have a shot clock you're trying to get to. That bell might save you if you could just make enough distance or put enough cars in between you. So that's giving them all a fight right now.
Unfortunately for those guys, it's not coming up close enough. It's a 75-lap window, so they will go 75 laps of green before throwing a yellow for a mandatory caution.
So it should be 285. So just a touch over 200 before the next stop.
He's in 31st position right now.
And the one thing Majeski's got to be careful with right here, we talked about the aggression of the cars he is catching. Should things get a little bit too hair-raising in front of him, he could find himself getting swept up in some misfortune, as there's a lot of bumper tag happening. Stephen Nassy, Jake
Nassie's oh boy.
At the bottom of your frame, trying to sort out where they want to run to try to stay on the lead lap right now. That's a lot of bars right in that picture we just saw down the front straightaway, and a lot of guys side by side.
I guess he's just kind of got to chill out here for a minute.
Kind of let them spread out a tad.
Out of the groove, and everybody's seeing a free spot. Michael Hines just barely to the inside. Everybody's seeing that free spot to at least get them one more. As you see, really respectful out of the way, but I don't think that respect level is going to turn down here in a minute.
Ty Majeski in the 91 car.
Carson Qualple's a lap down.
Really sideways in the middle of one.
The next handful, Bolin, Jones, Finch.
Hines got a tire up.
Yeah.
He's moving fast, but now it's
Finch is dropping.
Want to stay on the lead lap, but he has to be careful too in case they start making contact.
Yeah, Jake Finch of this 51 car has been leading the last few laps. He's been out of the groove. It's right
Qualple seals it in on Jones.
Really aggressive to just try and keep
First car lap down.
Yep.
All he's going to do is he's going to try. Tyler Mountain spotting right now is telling him just paint the line, do as good as he can. But the second he loses it,
And Majeski's going to put another one on him anyways.
Just try and stay in that lucky dog position. He's trying to put up just a big enough fight. You're still being respectful about it, but just trying to stay down in where the grip is in front of Majeski, but just Majeski too.
Yikes, dude. He's just picking them up and putting them down.
We're lapped up to 28th, 27 on the lead lap right now.
28th spot. Next in line will be that of John Bolin. As now we got Sawalich ducking to the bottom of a present for third. But Stephen Nassy, only 3 cars up the road.
Nassy going lap down. You don't, that's.
It was showing a little bit of smoke out of his number 69 machine. A couple laps.
Nassy has late car or late race presence, but he's got to be on the lead lap to do anything.
Correct.
Take a look at some lap times here. So Majeski's last lap was an 18.6, but using lap traffic. Honeycutt was an 18.3. Swatch 18.3. O'Cressick 18.5. Thorne 18.7. As they come across the line, Majeski 18.7. Honeycutt was a 44. 27th Swatch, O'Cressick 5. So I mean they're all within a couple tenths of each other. Majeski's got a second and a half lead. Majeski's also the only guy to run a 16-second lap on the race pace. Majeski's got the best lap of the race so far.
Right now, the gaggle of Bubba Pollard race cars, the 26.
69.
Right behind
That's what his fastest lap was, yeah.
You see Butcher trying to make a move. Here's Butcher now, diving to the inside of Derek.
Butcher's on the move.
Majeski back in clean air, 18.2. To Honeycutt's 18.6. Jesus Christ. So they're trading back and forth lap times, but Majeski just keeps cutting through traffic pretty well.
October said he's feeling great. This is the one race he wants to capture, and he's to the inside of a driver who's done it.
The thing is here too is you're almost managing the gap because you know you're gonna have a caution.
Yep.
And you know you're gonna be swapping tires.
Yep.
You don't need to be burning them up
too, but now he gets loose.
burn your equipment up for later in this race.
He said to me,
Correct.
he paints the yellow line. He builds his car setup. He drives it deeper than everybody. Paints the yellow line. And the second he gets off the yellow line, normally he almost spins
Man,
out.
Weaver said that Bubba Pollard car with the special silver that's got on it.
Yep.
Pictures don't do it justice.
You can kind of tell it's got a little different tint. It's not.
It's like a tin.
Yeah.
It's like a tin gray.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but it comes later in the race. But as you start to see him bleed
Thorn's
now,
back
he
in
gets
line.
around, 26 above par gets around. But that thing
Pollard's
is always
fighting, putting pressure on Butcher for fifth.
100% the speed, but it doesn't look as edgy anymore. The car that is good right now is Bubba Pollard, looking for his first Snowball Derby win, and is strong right now. 63 laps into this race, following a
Gilliland sitting 14th of a notable. Fenhouse has dropped back. He's in 13th. Ruggiero's making his way up. He's sitting 15th.
Off the bottom of the racetrack a little bit, down in 1 and 2. Butcher's car, one of the strongest.
Plymouth all the way back to 16th.
Yeah.
Pollard, who is
Nasty 24th. So
24th. He's gaining some ground.
kind of wonder if he maybe was taking her easier for a little bit. Now they saw Majeski and said, all right, it's go time.
God, yep, go time. And now, but I wonder how far up Majeski's lap the field.
Intensity is picking up, guys. Ty Majeski just got around the 44 of Jeremy Dawson. Now is
So Nasty's the next one to go a lap down.
Between himself and Stephen Nassy. Nassy
Yikes.
now under pressure here as soon as we can see. But we see Andrew Overstreet on your right, Buckner on your right, of your screen. That's Bubba Pollard's pit crew. Andrew Overstreet came and crew chief his Xfinity debut, and what they think is confident in similarities of Richmond and Five Flags, painting the yellow line. Andrew Overstreet really impressed with Bubba Pollard of painting the line the second they got done and how well they ran on Xfinity. Bubba Pollard said, hey, I need Andrew Overstreet to come crew chief the Snowball Derby.
Whoa.
And a shot to win in a little bit. Obviously has
Bubba
won
put the
a little
nose to
bit
Butcher
different. That's the
a
only
little
difference
bit.
in their deal. And he moving forward as that's paying dividends as he gets by Cole Butcher for fifth. This right there was Butcher checked up middle of the corner a little bit, shoved up the banking, and Pollard's run through the middle made a little bit of contact with Butcher. No harm done. A scary moment there for not only Butcher, but Bubba Pollard as their battle for the fifth position changed hands. Lapsevich on the top side. Okresic makes it 5, but Okresic in some trouble soon because Bubba Pollard is reeling him in.
Bubba's coming. Bubba's got a really good race car.
Yep. I think Bubba's probably one of the faster cars on the track right now.
And while we've talked several times about Bubba Pollard's efforts to win this race, let's not forget how his tenure at this race started. In fact, he failed to make the first 2 Snowball Derbies, 2005 and 2006. Once he made the show for the first time in 2008, he's never missed one since. This is obviously the one that he wants to grasp, even though it's early.
There he is.
Nasty,
Portion of this race, he's got a very fast race car. Other end of the spectrum, Stephen Nassy in a similar boat, desperately trying to stay on the lead lap in that 51. Cole Raz going a lap down.
He's got about another 24 laps to hold off Majeski if he's looking for that comp caution.
Extremely fast. Nassy, the
Gregson's right there too.
First time, looking for his first Derby win. Does not want to go a lap down this early in the race. He's begging for a yellow flag.
So that's the other thing. If Nassy goes down, it's not terrible, but he's got to stay the first one lap down.
Correct.
We just talked about was in front of Nassy and Noah was Trent
Kresic drops back a couple spots.
That might fail or might lead. Trent Latchford won. I didn't expect to lead.
Butcher looks good.
Yep, kind of biding his own time as well.
Not too bad, nothing to worry about. Still running.
Craig kind of slowly creeping his way up. He's to 11th.
Yep.
With all the problems that Okresic and the team had this week, they didn't get to perform a lot of long runs. They were just happy to qualify into the 5th spot. And Okresic,
there goes Butcher.
Here's Butcher again. I thought he was going to give the favor back to him a little bit as he got in there, but a lot of respect from these two guys.
That's too early to give him a favor again.
Yep.
You save that one for later.
They know how
Yep.
important this position is, right? Inside or outside a row or not. When we come to these, as we got a yellow, I think this is the competition caution, but we know how important these competitions are.
Nassy stayed on the lead lap.
Cars are going to be able to spread out pretty good.
It was a 60-lap run.
Yep.
Third caution to the race. This one coming with 225 laps to
Yep.
go.
Nassy stays on the lead lap. So strategy time. You've got 3 sets
in the pits.
in the pits.
Yep.
Snowball Derby presented by Flow Sports.
I think your last, you got to work backwards. So I think your last set gets put on somewhere between 60 to 80 to go.
Mhm.
I think that's when your last set gets put on.
Yeah,
Because if you do it any later, you run the risk of losing your track position.
Correct. And you have to save a set for late in the race.
Yep. So, all right. So if you're kind of working backwards from there, you're sitting at, we'll call it 70, split the middle.
Yep.
We're running that, like I said, that was a 60 lap run. So we're
130.
190. So I mean, pretty much each comp caution,
Yep.
put on a set of tires.
Yep.
You may get some guys, depending if a caution falls with 90, 80, 90 to go. You maybe get some guys that.
Well, so here's another. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for you. With what has been kind of suspect tires, somebody like Majeski, do you even take a chance on putting a set on, knowing how good your car is right now?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, we've seen that come into play once at
Mhm.
Oktoberfest, however many years ago, where he didn't take tires and he got just freight trained.
Yep.
And damn near lost a lap.
Yep. You know, that's just one of the things that I was kind of wondering about with that. Oh,
Yep,
here they come.
There they come. Pretty much everybody pits. I think it's 3 laps is what you have time for. Is 3 laps.
Welcome to the 57th Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway. First round of pit stops right now. Controlled cautions here at Five Flags Speedway today. Ty Majeski is the leader of this race, the number 91.
They're putting tires on.
Good so far. Spoke to his crew chief, Toby Newman. He said, you know what, the car is pretty balanced right now. We're just going to come in, take tires, fill it with fuel, but no major adjustments on this 91 car.
Let's say, where is the man, Toby?
How good it is. Jim?
Chase Yumshot and his crew, the number 20 on Caden Honeycutt, qualified second and remains second. They come into pit road. Jack stands underneath. They're doing a right front shock adjustment, putting on 4 fresh Hoosier tires. Like to remind our viewers that there are 3 sets of tires in the pits. They can change those at any time during a controlled caution. They have to be stickers. They're putting their right sides on. They'll put left sides on. But we'll see a lot of shock adjustments going on. Honeycutt has a good car, but the race
They have to be stickers if you're
about 1.5
change tires.
seconds. Fastest lap to slowest
Interesting.
at this point in the race. So it's enough time to say, let's throw rubber at it. Talking to crew chiefs down here, though, they said we need to have tires, ideally maybe make a 100-lap run. That'll cycle us through so we can have a set lane, because last year that caution with 18 to go is on everybody's mind. For Cole Butcher, the car
So they just mentioned caution 18 to go. You know, having that set of tires there with that 18 to go is huge.
Yep.
You know, but again, you play that risk of guys staying out on that caution. Now you got to know how many cars you got to get by in order to get back to the lead.
Reports with that of Bob Dillner and Jim Trado as we continue to see this controlled caution being exercised by all the race teams. It's an incredible event so far. I'm Eric Brennan again, along with Adam Mackey and Carson Hocevar. And Adam, you've seen these races several times before. Ty Majeski just flexing a lot of muscle early in the going here.
Really good, and he's scaring the back half of the field, and he was a lot of the
Adam Mackey's pretty solid.
Yeah, he is.
We had that competition yellow at 75 laps without a controlled yellow, and that's why it came out when it did. And it saved Stephen Nasse. He was the next to go a lap down. A lot of drivers moving toward the front. We've got a few dropping toward the back, and this was a chance for everybody to come down pit road and make some adjustments, make some changes,
Guys
maybe
trying to
take
get
off some
out.
fresh rubber.
So, Carson, to many of the race teams, maybe like that of a Stephen Nasse, who was just about a car length away from going a lap down when that yellow fell, do they look at this as a potential reset and refresh point?
Absolutely. If not, we're all racers. And we're
I think it's one of those, as long as you
we all
are
have
making the
to
intention of
keep
going.
ourselves
Yep.
in it, whether
you're
saying,
in
the
clear.
spotter saying, or the driver trying to pump himself up. It is, hey man, we're gonna get
Patrol
it.
cautions. I forget when they implemented, but it's still a fairly new thing for the Snowball Derby.
Nope.
Head down to Bob, where Joe's Racing Products pit report. Bob, what do you got?
Yeah, some major adjustments on this 51 for Steven Haskey. He gets out there. That car just way too tight for his liking at this stage of the
Tight
game.
for
And honestly,
nasty.
the weather that we're seeing, guys, a little bit different than what we expected. Cloudy conditions here. We expected sunny skies, blue skies. It's a beautiful temperature, but how might that have changed
Interesting.
how the cars are handling compared to the
From Matt Weaver, Toby Newland tells Majeski his car is sensitive to his marks, so he needs to hit him just right. Ty agreed and said it's snappy if he doesn't hit his marks.
It's, when the sun's baking on the racetrack, it's going to be clear. It's going to be, just because the pace is slowed down. But now the pace is still really fast. It's a lot of fall off, but the pace is still fast. It's around the bottom, and that's just going to make the
And then he comes in. Majeski is such a racer. They have 5 laps to get work done, and no one can gain or lose spots. They were done after 1 lap. Majeski says no reason to burn fuel. Send me out after 3 laps, Herm.
Cloud cover all day long and a high of 65. That's changed quite a bit, which has brought it a little closer to some of the weather that we had yesterday. So a little more like what the teams have expected all week long. Still the warmest day that we've had, but that definitely changes the handling characteristics on what they expected. The teams are now getting up in their positions by courtesy of the officials and scorers here for the 57th annual Snowball Derby presented by Flow Sports. They'll reassume the positions they were in at the time of the caution.
Well, pretty much everybody took tires.
Being the dominator for this first portion of the race. As you look at Bubba Pollard, who has definitely been on the move, started outside of row number 4, now up to 4th. So he's gone through half of the field from where he started to where he wants to go. And Carson, you said not only does Bubba look good, but the team car also looked pretty strong in that of Sammy Smith. Both of those cars look like they've got what they need to contend today. For more on the 26 car, let's go down to Bob Dillner.
Well, Andrew Overstreet on top of the box for Bubba Pollard. I just spoke to him. That car tight as well. So they just freed the 26 up. But honestly, this team here today has a message, has a theme. And if we get the camera to come over here just a little bit, Bubba Pollard has not won this race yet. Right now, this is their slogan here today. To believe that they can make it throughout the 300-lap distance. Believe that Bubba Pollard can go to victory lane and hoist
the whole pit box.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, we just guys, spotters, communication, crew chief communication, driver motivation, as we see on board Stephen Nassy. But one thing I just wanted to mention really quick, Andrew Overstreet, you just heard, crew chief of the 26. Philip Bell, crew chief of the 8. Andrew Overstreet and Philip Bell both work inside Junior Motorsports on the Xfinity side. That's where Bubba and Andrew first connected.
Look at Nassy's wheel. Doesn't have a square wheel.
Here as a team that have
Interesting
together in the NASCAR world, and now coming here, working with Sammy Smith now in the 8 car, and then working with the 26 of Bubba Pollard. A lot of knowledge.
Well, giving him the one to go.
But the biggest thing for me is that is the
all right. Next long run. See whose adjustments came into play.
Got a whole bunch of cars a lap down too.
Yep. Same people, same families, Seneca race cars, everything. That might be the missing ingredient we have that we'll wait and see if that is.
12. Fenn House is what, 14, 15?
Dan Spence indicating one to go. We're now a half a lap away from
14.
the restart.
No, 13.
82 will be 217 laps to go in the 57th annual Snowball Derby. Time to see who hit the nail on the head in terms of adjustments, just shy of the 1/3 distance mark. Ty Majeski leads us back down the green. Much like we had at the start of the race, Honeycutt.
All right, let's settle in here, boys.
He's going to close the door on Sawallich.
Front 3 the same on that restart as the initial start too.
Yep.
Whoa, hang on.
We're still trying to rack here a little bit.
The hell are we doing here, boys? Oh,
Jones, Van Meter,
Noggle, Loden. Oh, it's a hell of a fireball coming out of the tube.
There they went.
Major wreck of the race comes with 216 laps to
Huge
go.
wreck.
Taking out several cars.
But we saw 3 wide up ahead, and I'm sure it
Everybody
was
checked up and
field where they
just.
kind of stacked up behind them. Someone made some contact and nowhere.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Fear on restarts.
Bowling's done.
Races like this, we've seen it at Winchester.
Buddy Shepherd.
We've seen it for many years at the Derby. You get a few laps where the field spreads out, and that doesn't happen. Yeah, right there, the 2.
Oh yeah, that car is destroyed.
Now the 2 Bowling, a lot of cars torn up.
Lapsevich up on top of the wall, and he's got the win on that down.
That first long run was going to be the worrisome because they felt like there was going to be yellows when they kind of stack up, similar to what we saw in the Flake, a long green flag run or a decent long green flag run, and all of a sudden that middle portion.
That car there was something not right with that car to begin with, but so
you got 3 wide there. Everybody starts to check it up, and yeah, they just.
Dawson's got big damage too.
Squeeze through the melee on what is only a
basically a hell of a shot, the drone shot.
Yeah, it kind of all started with Gill, and I don't know if he got shuffled or.
That was impressive from Cole Raz, but right here, left of your screen, watch every car behind.
I can get through there. Hey,
somebody tried to go 3 wide, and it didn't work.
Nasty gets through there.
It's almost like a restart where a guy misses a shift.
Oh, Caden Quapple.
Caden was in it, yeah.
Everybody's just stacking up, and the weak or the worst part of the chain is the guys in the back that just get torn up the most. Some great shots there, not the shot.
Jeremy Dawson, the pits.
Be a part of a tough day today. A spin early on for our first yellow, and
yep, he was part of that initial checkup line, so he's getting some work done.
Number 44 machine, pretty banged up on the front end of this machine. Cody Cliff and his team going to work to try to make sure that they can
Josh checking the radiator
and get the radiator in place as well. That's a big thing. Plus that air box there, you want to be able to cool that engine, get that air to the radiator. So a lot of work ongoing right now here down in the Jeremy Doss pit area, and it's a lot of damage on the front end of this race car, Jim.
Caden Lapsevich's walk from his car to his pits. It's a short walk, but man, what a disappointing walk it is. You just came in for a pit stop to make adjustments. Caden, you've been working on this car all week long. This has got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't know. We weren't very good. It's the longest week I've ever had at the racetrack. We cut more shit off that car than I think was on it when we came here. So just tough week. My guys worked their butts off. We never stopped. It's for damn sure. We tried our ass off the whole time. So I don't know. We'll regroup, try again next year, and see what we got.
What did you see on that restart?
I don't know. It's I was kind of focused. I was trying to stay back and not end up in the mess, but he said my spotter said check, and we were stopping in front of me. So, I don't know. Short day, long week. Try again next year.
Short day, long week.
Down here in the pit area, he's got a wrecked race car behind me. I want to know, what did you see out there to trigger that incident?
Not very much. Couldn't really see much. I just know I got in the back of John because they were all checking up there, and next thing I know, I'm getting flat in the back of it. We just drove through right. Sucks. Brand new $175,000 race car down the drain right now. So.
Thanks, Bob. You see the dejection there. Connor
Jones. Oh, they got speeders right all the way down the track. This is going to be a long cleanup.
With 84 laps in the book. 216 laps still to go. You're watching the 57th Annual Snowball Derby presented by Flow Sports. We'll be right back right after this.
Right before the start-finish line.
Yeah.
Join the millions who saved on their move with Pods. Book now and save up to 25% off your upcoming move with no deposit now and no.
Yeah, those are some expensive race cars to stack up like that.
Yup.
Book now at pods.com.
Get on that couch.
Oh, that's the first quote-unquote big one.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone. I got the power of 3. I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight. In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C.
Billy Van Meter, John Bowen, Connor Jones, Ken Lapsevich, Nick Walden, Buddy Shepherd, Nick Noggle all involved.
In adults also with known heart disease. I'm lowering my risk.
See what Twitter world knows. That's what I'm going through right now here too.
Ozempic isn't for type 1 diabetes or children. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take if you or your family.
By the way, last day to get
MEN2
your Joe Shear tickets at 36% off.
Get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or any of these allergic reactions. Tell your prescriber if breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. Serious side effects may include inflammation of pancreas, gallbladder problems, or changes in vision. Call your prescriber if you have any of these symptoms. Taking with the sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Common side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, constipation. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
Ask about the Power 3 with Ozempic.
Somebody tried to drive their car out in 4 inches of ice.
Good Lord, people.
There's always that one person that does it.
Welcome back to Flow Racing's coverage of the Snowball Derby under red flag condition for a big pile, including Nicholas Snowball, one of the 3 drivers here from beautiful Nova Scotia. This car is anything but beautiful, Nicholas. What'd you see?
Yeah, I just think people were starting to get a little anxious there a little early. We had a shot go bad in that first half, and we were fighting it, but we were very happy with the car. And after that pit stop, I thought we were going to be good. Unfortunately, seeing them start to stack up around row 13, 14, I'd say, and tried to lift out of it, but unfortunately, not everyone had the same idea.
Came down here last year, tried to make the show, and we're a spectator come green flag. This time you earned it with the Rathy Ward team. Talk about the emotion of just getting in the show and now this disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be too disappointed. Our goal was to make the show. I'm sad we're not going to get to finish it. I was really looking forward to it, but I got to thank the Rackley War guys so much. I got to thank Bricon Construction, Celtic Air Services, and Hoosier Tire for giving us such a good tire to race on this weekend. It was a great opportunity, and I can't be thankful enough.
That's Nicholas Stoggle. Other cars are being repaired on pit road. Let's check in with Bob.
Yeah, one of them is Billy Van Meter out of Indianapolis, Indiana. And right now it's really cosmetic. I spoke to Butch Van Dorn, the crew chief on this machine, and he said, this car is still pretty good. We checked out the front suspension and no problems whatsoever. So the hood's crushed in, the nose piece is crushed in. But the key thing, honestly, here in the
lot of tape on that sucker
is to seal off that air box on that front grill right there to make sure that the airflow can still go through that grill, get to the radiator, and cool off this engine. So fortunately for Billy Van Meter, no suspension damage on this race car. They're just trying to figure out that front nose piece.
Thanks, Bob. And being that this race still has a long way to go, trying to get back out there and see if you could survive the remainder of it could do you so well.
Buddy Shepard, they're trying to get that car put together.
Buddy Shepard. That's probably the toughest thing to do. Right now, I'm looking at the right front fender a little bit. You can still see a little bit right above, like the, I'm trying to explain it the best. It's tough to explain when I know it, but I think it's the headlight. It's right left of the headlight, right where the black and green. You see the fender kind of bow in. What I'm most focused on, obviously, not the best angle, but I'm worried this is the only car that has the new body. The new bodies are more susceptible to breaking the fender or the fender flexing or whatnot because it's more sharp. It's sharper, so it's easier to crunch in and break. Jim, I think you got something for Joe's Racing Product Pit Report.
Yeah, Carson, I'm glad you were able to describe all the things Buddy Shepard and his California-based team has to go through. David Koppel's also down here. He had to make it into the last chance qualifier, and they are taking his car, what they can do to fix the nose. Heavy damages.
Buddy Shepard's going to roll.
For the last little bit of tape on the rear deck lid before sending them away.
Is going to be maybe enough trouble to cost them a lap or two. He's here in the pits as they're surveying the damage. Jack Travis is looking over the air box and the nose of number 32 of his youngest of 2 sons, Caden Quaffle, just a week shy of his 18th birthday. Wanting so badly to race with his brother for the victory here. This is the damage on the Keen Parts Corvette for Caden Quaffle and this team. No hurry to get this car fixed.
And we just saw the window net come down on Caden Fopple's car.
And Caden's coming out. It's like they're done for the day.
Fopple's second consecutive Snowball Derby is going to come to a premature end. And you see all the damage.
So that took out the other Corvette.
Corvette body race car. And unfortunately for many of the drivers that have had issues so far, Adam, it's a lot of drivers that, as Jim said, either had to come through the last chance race or were involved in some of the early cautions that we had. The back of the pack has truly been a bit of a danger zone, and it's taken out several competitors and potential contenders, like that of 2023 Car Store Pro late model titleist in Caden Foppel.
Yep.
And that one decent green
Just telling them to move it closer to the box so they're out in the way.
Three-time champion at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Fetchel.
Late model division, making a rare super late model start here at the Snowball Derby.
Oh, an effort for Fetchel making his debut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Found his way in.
Going to go out there and hope that it runs as best as possible and salvage a decent finish today. Yeah, really impressive, but in my opinion, Dylan Fetchel.
Yeah, that hood is still pretty crunched up.
Yeah, that baby is that baby's gonna need a little more love. Need that Austin Hill crew member to jump on it.
Super cool to see him qualifying to the race. You know, unfortunate to see, but at least it's important for them to see the end of the checkered flag. They're battered. Still seeing a checkered flag. Obviously, a tough way to basically end their Snowball Derby. As a youngster, when you make your first Snowball Derby, what are the feelings on that day?
You're just so bold with your course.
Oh yeah.
I just can't get over it.
To stay out of trouble as best as possible. Yeah, the goal is it's constant. First you want to make the show, and then you just want to stay on the lead lap, and then you just want to
take a little time to rub the track in.
You know that speed right off the front stretch.
Yep.
We'll make this next restart interesting.
It's just constantly working on that, changing your agenda, and that's what I love about the Snowball Derby. Year after year, your agenda is changing. You see the 26 above the collar. Let's go down to Bob Dillner with the Joe's Racing Products Pit Report.
I talked to Bubba Pollard and his team, and they told me they were just going to ride for the most part of this race. The end of the race is the only thing that's important to him, but he knows it's survival as well. So that's what this team is going to do. They're going to take their opportunities.
Well, even after a little bit of a shit show, everyone's pits are still alive.
Yep.
Sit there and ride if they need to. That's veteran savviness there for Bubba Pollard and this team, Jim.
For Gio Ruggiero running in 13th, when they made that first pit stop, guys, Gio Ruggiero came in. Rather matter of fact, this is the team he had to carry the rifle with the Winchester 400 victory. Gio Ruggiero has a lot of Super Leon experience. We know he's going to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series next year, but Dennis Dean and his team have an agenda. I asked about the changes they made once they left pit road, and Dennis said we just a little bit of air pressure. He wanted more turn in the car. I then asked about the weather. I said, hey, we're expecting 70 and sunny. What do you do with air pressure to adjust for the cooler temps? He said, smiling, he said, we're going to wait around the race to worry about air pressure. So they're just trying to get Gio comfortable. Who finished ninth in the last two Snowball Derbies. We don't know what his next
Little brownie break.
There you go.
Before working full-time in NASCAR next year.
Gio right now lining up in the vicinity to that of Dawson Sutton and Iraqi War Racing number 26. Hats off to the track crew here at the Black Flag Speedway. They got that melee cleaned up pretty quickly on the front stretch as we are now, as you can see,
all right,
the yellow flag.
They cleaned that up in a hurry.
Number 85, 215 laps to go. And they're going to double up the field this time through. Yellow lights are still on, most likely at least another pace and a half or so before we go back to green. We're talking about Gio Ruggiero started 26 up to 13th. His teammate, Brent Cruz, who struggled early this week, they found a brake issue. He's from 31st to 17th. And, of course, we talked a lot about Cole Butcher in the 28 car up to 6th. Very fast race car. Wilson Motorsports entries look strong. Let's get a quick update on the Iraqi War entry to that of Dawson Sutton. Here's Joe's Racing Products Pit Report.
Dawson Sutton has faded just a little bit. The 18-year-old has been so impressive since running super late models this year for the most part. That big win at Milwaukee, the championship at Nashville. But right now, that car, as he fades back a little bit too tight. So when they
see what comes of this.
They get down pit road.
I think Jones got a little roll damage there.
Yeah, all of it.
And they made a track bar adjustment. They need to get this car to turn a little bit bit better for Dawson's son.
Sure. Well, people watching.
Wrapping up our fourth caution of the race, this one for a multi-car pile
Well,
on the front straightaway that resulted in a very short red flag.
We going green here? We are.
Yep.
Base car's off. Okay, here we go.
Just like how they started this race. Back underway in the Snowball Derby as they fly by the Muzzy Race.
Whoa! A little high and wide there.
This time, everyone able to make it to turn one without any major issues. Majeski's back out front.
High, wide, and handsome.
Yup.
Drop in line in second.
Majeski blows up the track a little bit.
Here's Pollard taking it away. Pollard up into that fourth spot ahead of Butcher right now. Majeski survives the restart. Honeycutt second. So Waller's third. Pollard fourth.
Boys in the back are having a hard time.
Closer to what will be the 1/3 distance
Oh,
mark
back
of
at the
this
squirrels,
race.
get your nuts cracked.
Sixth spot there, pushed up the track a little bit in turn 3 and
You're getting
4.
cracked all right.
Having a hard time keeping it on the bottom of the racetrack. There's Chandler Smith, another one of the Wilson Motorsports entries. He's on his way forward. Former winner of the Snowball Derby, Chandler Smith, making it
Chandler.
closing in on the top 5.
Thorne looking to capitalize too. Christick's kind of falling back a little bit.
That was a tight hole you just slid into there.
Oh! Cruz is all beat up.
Major
He's going to have to
damage.
hit. Who'd he hit? That's the other thing. Let's say Fenhouse's car looks pretty clean. Here comes Honeycutt. Looking to go under Majeski for the lead. Not a bad thing. Still early.
Well, Majeski can learn a little something he's let every lap.
And I see how his car maybe handles behind somebody else.
See where he can be a little better.
Yep. You know you got a good car that could run out front on a toll.
Yep.
He's a former top 5 finisher in the Snowball Derby and one of his first starts here at this racetrack when it came to the Derby, and he is now pulling away at the front of the field. Majeski riding in second.
Very impressive for Honeycutt. It obviously shows their adjustment.
Man, you just can't seem to separate Butcher and Bubba. Nope.
Your battle 26 and 28 of Bubba Pollard and Cole Butcher. Really good race cars here, trying to buy their time. And we're waiting to see where these race cars, now that they have a little
Okay.
bit better track,
Where's my boy Nasty?
the later half of the run, that's where these
Yeah, let's do a check here on picks.
Those two cars appear to be evenly matched. Out of Pollard, who is fourth, Cole Butcher, the red 28, who is fifth, both reeling in. Not only Sawala to the 62,
All right, so
but also
I'm currently running second, and
just a little bit, if at all possible,
let's do it
with
this way.
Honeycutt now in control of this race. 7 laps away from the first.
So I'm second and 17.
Being completed, had a couple of slowdowns.
Cam is 4th and 9th.
4th and 9th. You are 8th. 8th and 18th.
Oh, it's 18. Okay.
Cruz still has not pitted.
Which is scary. Don't really have a choice, though.
Yeah, especially on the green.
Mhm.
This is the point where everybody's suggesting more or less. This is the point where they're really analyzing the race cars, what they have. See Jake Garcia on the right side here.
Oh, Garcia's done.
He had an unfortunate end to his Snowball Derby. I think he was involved in the restart. But on the left of your screen, Ty Majeski's charging and trying to keep in touch with Kane Honeycutt. Honeycutt really strong off the fire. Majeski really edged out the last half of the last run. We'll see if Majeski maybe made an adjustment. We're going to see it right.
Oh, here's replay.
Camera. This is the restart that happened. A stack of around just a bunch of cars. Can't quite see. I believe that's Matt Craig that struggled to get going, and there's just chaos ensued behind. I believe that was Hayden Clyburn, who got hit by Cruz, who somehow is still on the racetrack right now, running in a 17th spot. Is that of Brent Cruz? With Sawala's running up the hill a little bit here off turn number 4. Pollard closing. Butcher not far behind. This is third on back. But as we hit the 1/3 distance mark, as we check in on Stephen Nassy, who is not as quickly flashing his way up through the field
but rather methodically, as he works all over the backside of the wounded Wilson Motorsports 24 Brett Cruz. You see on the right side of your screen, even on the right side of that screen, the fender, you can see the fender pulled up, you can see the fender braces, you can see the hood fail.
Nasty's got a little nose damage too.
Not near as bad as what you see on your screen, that 24 Brett Cruz. I can't believe it's not blowing water and knocking the radiator completely out of it. It's still running, but damage to that 51 and Nasty, that might be hurting his progress.
Very fortunate that it's a somewhat cool day for Brett Cruz. I thought for sure he would be overheating by now as well. They're begging for a yellow. Some of those that had damage in Cruz's car, despite the damage, still running fairly well. We look again into the top 5, where Cole Butcher's ready to pounce on Bubba Pollard.
These two just
They can't get away from each other.
no.
215 water temp. This water temp, if it gets any hotter, we have to come. We have to come if it gets hotter.
Thanks, Jim. And I know it's
So Cruz is up to 215.
If it gets to 215.
Snowball right now. Hopefully he can somehow manage to keep it rolling after they said they diagnosed a brake problem earlier in the practice session on Saturday. And that's what got him in a position to race his way through the last chance event as the battle for third continues to tighten up. So Wallach.
Bubba's car just looks so smooth.
Third, fourth,
Yep.
fifth,
Just takes the bumps better than other cars do.
These guys kind of settling in now.
As we get past the first 100
Made
laps.
a couple of attempts to close that gap and get to the rear of Pollard, but has not found an opening. All running the same lane. All 3 of those cars seem to be handling pretty well. And how much of this car, so it is Ty Majeski, just settling in right now, saying he doesn't have to lead all the laps. He likes to be out front. But Caden Honeycutt wanted it a little bit more. And Adam, for how good that 91's been, I don't think Ty Majeski's willing to give up that lead. I think Caden Honeycutt just went and took it. I think his race car's really strong, but I think Ty Majeski, to that merit, has a lot of confidence in his race car of letting Caden go and knowing he'll come back and know he's strong later.
Yeah.
As you see,
He hasn't pulled away either. Ooh, there comes Hind.
but also, too, when you're leading, when you're the best car, when you put 5 seconds on the field, you don't want to touch it. So that puts you at a disadvantage. Now he's going to go work with Toby and his guys down up pit road. As you see now, Chandler Smith and O'Kresick now on your screen. That's one thing I was wondering, too. He's following the 21, and if the 21 is, in fact, a little bit better than him, he's going to say, Toby, I need to be better in this spot in the track. That's where I'm losing ground. 100%. One thing Ty's really good at is communication with himself and Toby and getting his race car exactly how he wants it to. Communication is going to be key here to see if that 91 can outrun the 21 if he doesn't get back to him in this run. Had a quick glimpse of Michael Hine going to the pit area under green. Tough break for the Hernando, Florida native. Chances to win the Snowball Derby.
Hood's up on us. It's on that one, so you gotta imagine more was getting hot.
O'Kresick and Sammy Smith. O'Kresick in the 14, Sammy Smith in the 8 car. Smith running inside the top 10, the 8th position. O'Kresick settled in a little bit here after the restart recently. His car pushed off the bottom of the track and lost a spot or 2, but he's still having a great run, backing up that 5th place qualifying effort. Billy Van Meter in the 23 moving over was involved in one of the mishaps. One of the accordion style accidents that took place as the top 5 gets by. Van Meter in the 23 car running down the list in 28th position, a lap off the pace. And as Caden Honeycutt is now caught the tail end of the pack, Ty Majeski was a half second off of that lead. And Majeski just got himself another 10. Buddy Shepard next up the road for Honeycutt to try to get by. And as Adam mentioned, some of these cars have sustained damage or have had some sort of misfortune already in this event. And Honeycutt's going to have to try to get by gingerly.
So if these comp cautions are going to come out the way that I think they did, this first one came out at 225. So it's not 35 consecutive laps. It's 75 laps. So that's what it is. So that's the case. You're going to get your last comp caution with 75 to go.
From the spotter's going to be able to tell Caden Honeycutt, because Caden Honeycutt can't see where Majeski beat them.
That's when you're going to get your last comp caution.
Spotter's got to be telling him that, got to be figuring out.
You got to imagine that your guys are going to take tires on that at that point.
Just because they have the fastest car right now doesn't mean they're going to have it later. Jace Hansen in the 08 running 22nd right now, a driver that was on his
So we're about 35 laps from the next comp caution. Do you take tires? Ooh, we got one. Whoa.
Lapsevich. Drayton Lapsevich with problems was up against the outside retaining wall. Window net is down. Not sure if he made much contact, but it looks like a mechanical failure for Lapsevich. A lot of smoke down into one. Not sure, fire or something of that nature, because he was aggressively getting ready to get out of that race car. Then when safety crews got to him, he kind of calmed down and whatnot. But luckily able to keep that thing out of the wall. But unfortunately, his Snowball Derby.
Oh yeah, it's a small fire out of there.
Spot right there. Got to catch up with Drayton at the tech line earlier today. I believe this is one of the few events that he has some experience with here stateside since relocating to North Carolina, shifting his focus with Chad Bryant Racing, the opportunity to run in the car store in a late model stock. This, however, a family-owned team. You see that
now both Lapsevich brothers are out.
Second consecutive Snowball Derby. Started 10th here last year, involved in a late crash. This year, Drayton started 7th. But check that inside of row 7. Look at the upper left portion of your screen on the front straightaway.
Whoa!
That's a blown motor.
That was flames that came out from Lapsevich's car. And what a great job by the driver to keep it off the wall. I would say they would call that catastrophic failure underneath the engine compartment of the 32 of Lapsevich.
That could have been really bad.
That could have been really bad. That's a hell of a drive by Lapsevich to not junk that car.
Yeah, really impressive, but really unfortunate.
There's no oil pouring out underneath, so you got to imagine that there's no oil on the track. Probably blew holes and it all just ran the motor.
This is a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, really good job to hold on to that race car. And not make the damage obviously worse and kill a race car as well. First Derby that we've had 2 sets of brothers make the start. The Lapseviches both DNFing here in this race. We also had both Quaffles in this event. And unfortunately, right now, Carson Quaffle, I believe, is the lone soldier remaining of the 4. Under our 5th caution of the 57.
Yeah, a little bit of carnage early in this race.
Sports. We'll be back for the restart right after this.
Yikes.
Cruz gets a chance to fix the nose.
Mm-hmm. Much needed chance to fix that nose. We're changing tires.
They're going to go laps down by doing that.
Oh. Yeah, what's the rule on that?
At Petco, we know toys and treats under $10 will make the holidays even more joyful. We don't know why your cat likes to watch you take a shower. Some things we don't know. Everything else, we do.
Well,
so I was saying before that top caution is probably going to come on with 150 to go.
Yep.
Knowing you got another one coming up. Do you take tires? So that way, if you might have another set later on.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess? Question mark? Oof. Well, 24 right here. We're having a hell of a time getting that thing put back together. I just can't believe the radiator's still in that thing.
82 laps to go in the 57th annual Snowball Derby presented by Flow Sports here in Pensacola, Florida, at the Five Flags Speedway. Working
some light precipitation falling down at Five Flags.
Great.
So it sounds like it's just a small quick one. Once this one passed, it's done the rest of the day.
Right now on the racetrack, trying to become the first driver to win the plate and the Derby in the same weekend. Anthony Gamby, team owner, what is he telling you about the car, and is it getting better?
It's getting better. I mean, we made a decent adjustment to start out with, but we're still battling a really tight car and getting to miss a wreck there, and we got some damage we're going to have to clean up here, but I think he'll be all right. He's digging for us. We just got to make about 2-3 more good adjustments, miss some wrecks.
We all expected sunny skies today. Did the cloud cover kind of change things up for you guys?
Yeah, no, we were definitely...
Okay, there was a 24.
It's found down. We'll bring it around here.
That's Anthony Gamby for Stephen Assey. Jim?
Down at the Donnie Wilson pits, it got really busy. Gio Ruggiero was caught up in that accordion from Matt Craig on back. He was suffering through some right front damage to the body, but when he came in, Gio Ruggiero's nose had a big tear. The screen had pulled away from the bodywork for the grill opening, so the team was able to repair that under every second of care. Also, with Brent Cruz's issue, we saw that in the lap upon lap. They were hoping and got the caution. Every crew member on the second channel was told their role, and they did a great job. But a lot of damage on Brent Cruz, number 24. He's back on the racetrack with that.
I still want to know. I guess did they declare this a comp or no?
I don't think so.
I just want to know what the ruling is here on that.
Unless they just don't
change
lose cautions.
Oh, Grayson got a little nose damage. Jesus, man, every car out there has got damage except for both the front eight.
The second one, not so much. You see the damage to Rhett Jones Racing number 30 of that of Noah Gregson. And guys, we see all the time restarts here could often be tricky. It's happened now about 2 or 3 times that we've seen a little bit of a jam up toward the tail end of the field as these cars get back up to speed. Noah Gregson has been quiet in this race, inside the top 20 though, still on the lead lap, and he has to be somewhat satisfied with that. Obviously, a former Derby winner, he wants to get up there and compete. But his last appearance, he missed the Snowball Derby. So easy to do with the talent that's here each year. And .221 was the difference in qualifying from 1st through 30th on a Friday night. One of the closest ever Snowball Derby qualifying fields. And .221 was like a car length-ish. That's how close it was. Yeah, it's impressive how tight it is. You know, the small narrative of what it was a low car count field for normal Derby standards. Well, it instantly clapped back with the closest we've ever seen it in quality of cars and quality of lap times we were able to put up to make it or not make it in the Snowball Derby.
You just
the fans
the
opportunity to partake in some of the festivities that happen in the infield to watch the track crew taking a look at some portions of the surface around the speedway. And Bob Dillner mentioned earlier today during the pre-race coverage, and Carson, you touched on this a little bit yesterday, this racetrack surface obviously very aged, obviously a lot of character. The track has worked quite diligently to make sure that there are areas, even if there are some concern, they gloss over it to make sure that they can do what they can to try to keep the surface in race-ready conditions.
Checking on the track here to see.
Display right here.
They go looking for oil.
You know, they repaved the front stretch. You know, Tim Bryant and his group were originally going to repave the whole racetrack.
Oh.
The whole racetrack. And everybody was like, no. The character is why we come. The
Can
character
we-
is what's so fun about it. But the track is starting to come up a little bit. Bits and pieces is the worrisome of it. And I think they've done a really, really good job that the second they realized they had maybe had a problem or a problem arising, they've done a really, really good job of spending all night and doing everything they can to make sure
Speedy dry.
overlook.
Oh boy.
But one of the cars that unfortunately retired from the event early in 2024 is with Bob Dillner for a Joe's Racing Products pit report.
Yeah, Jake Garcia out of the race. He had finished second in this race years ago. But what put you out, Jake? What put you out of the race?
Yeah, I think we had a motor go bad. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it shut off coming off the corner. Started stumbling pretty bad. So tough day for our team. You know, I thought we had a pretty good car, especially once we got on our race tires. I thought we were going to be a lot better. So unfortunate, but I can't thank these guys enough. They worked hard all week. So we'll have to come back and try again.
As great for Jake Garcia, that car was not under power when it came to pit road.
Damn it.
Thanks, Bob. We saw the solid lead from Jake on
Sour motor for Garcia.
Locked into the show because that was not the case last year. Got swept up in a crash in a last chance race and watched the race along with the rest of us as the field is now doubled up.
We're inching closer to the restart of this race after Caden Honeycutt took over.
Must have been a quick dusting. They already are doubling them up.
7 laps to go right now in the running of this race. We heard from the Anthony Canby Racing Team.
There's
Stephen
Nasty.
Massey scored 14th on board with him there. And Carson, you alluded to some of that damage on the right side. They elected not to come down to the pit
Some
lane.
damage on the right side of Nasty kid there.
It appears as though he's confident that he could do some damage with that, as it looks like that's Okrezik coming down to the pit lane.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure yet, but I'm sure.
We got the one to go, and Krause just pulled in.
Yep.
Elect to do it. We're going to have a 75 lap run again at minimum, guaranteed with the last caution, with the with the reset clock. But really, right now, just curiosity of.
That must have been a caution.
Yep.
To like under power or whatnot, we're going to try and obviously get an answer on that as we get to head to the next restart.
Bad break for Connor Okrezik, who qualified in the 5th spot, was running in the top
There's
10
not a lot of
of the
urgency
afternoon,
going
was just
on.
outside the top 10 and 11 here as of late, but he's in the pits and they're not working too quickly. The window now has come down.
Damn it.
Wow.
Done.
Okrezik's
Wow.
out.
Four on the board. Caden Honeycutt, the leader, back to green at the Snowball Derby.
Absolute heartbreak for Okrezik down on pit road. Now watching this restart transpire. Contact with David
Getting a little fishy there. Jeski keeping Honeycutt honest up on top.
Who wants control of this race? We're about to
Well,
find
Jeski
out.
won that one.
Jeski to the top side. The leader by inches.
Slowly gaining some ground.
Down to get a good run off turn 2. And William Solowich joins the fight. 3 cars under a blanket, battling for the lead in the Derby.
As you get a little more wear on the tires and the race goes a little bit longer.
Whoa. Big moment off the floor for Majeski there.
Run side by side for a while, and that's what Majeski
I think that's that Mark's coming into play where he's got to be.
starting to lose grasp now of the lead. Caden Honeycutt may be ready.
Problem is now he's made his bed and he can't.
Hourglass is running out for Majeski. He's got about
Yep.
a lap-ish.
Ooh, there's his chance. He's going to dive in.
Yep.
Back in line, but really good job to be able to hold off.
Well, you got to try that.
Know what you got.
Yep, you know what you got out there. He might have went out there for those first couple laps on that restart and said, all right, we got it. We got the data we need to be out there.
And he had the spot to jump back in.
Yep.
Maybe an adjustment later to say, hey, I need this if I get stuck in the outside lane with the car.
Or if this race comes down to a shootout or a green-white checker or some type of short-term run at the end of this race, he knows how aggressive he's got to be in that outside
Cole
lane.
Raz around Funhouse. Raz is coming up through the field a little bit.
Yep.
Take a look here. Cole Raz, the 76 car, talked about him getting lapped earlier in the race. Now up to 9th. A really strong effort from the 76
up.
to get by Luke.
The 51's up to 11.
In your spin, running 11th. The only way I can think, you see the damage. You see the gaps in the hood. You see the right front fender higher than the hood. You see the damage, not obviously affecting him too much, getting up to 10.
Easy. Van Weeder into Funhouse a little bit.
Position, I think, is why that they elected not to pit, and they didn't think it was going to be as big of a hindrance as going.
Good Lord, boys.
In another crash. Yeah, he was running in 13th with the damage, and there's 20 cars on the lead lap. He would have given up 7 or 8 spots. It's running fine, obviously. Running well is Massey. He can make it another 40 or 50 laps. So we have a yellow flag. He's going to come down, as will everybody. They make their pit stops. Here's Gio Ruggiero with all of the tape, holding the front end of that car together, trying to come back to the front.
Funhouse is dropping here.
Yeah, Funhouse is struggling.
Loser per se, losing a lot of spots here on this restart as we got a cycle. Cars will react way differently on these cycle tires as he's fallen outside the top 10 and now the 13th. One car that we haven't talked a lot about today, that 33, that black and blue machine in front of Chase Hansen at the 08. Dustin and Smith starting his
Sorry, that's Dustin Smith in the
Snowball
33.
Derby here with a 23rd place starting effort as we've got a caution on the speedway. This would be yellow number 6. And
Butcher.
Butcher, one of the front runners, has come to a stop off turn 2. Butcher had been running up towards the top 10 pretty much all race long.
The old Donnie Wilson camp is taking a beat.
Yeah, they're
early
getting
in
beat
this
up a
race.
little bit.
Okay, well, all
Doesn't
right.
come on the pit road.
So
All the tires are up. Maybe an issue in the rear end, perhaps.
what's the ruling here? Because he stopped and brought out the caution, but then proceeded to just roll. National Tour, that's what, a lap or
That's a
2?
2-lap penalty.
He's going to get a 2-lap penalty for stopping
Yep.
to bring out a yellow, and that's going to be disastrous with how many
cars are still on the lead lap. His times have really dropped off as we take a look at a 3-wide battle. Cole Raz has been on the move, and there's
he was
already
really having an issue.
Yeah.
He moved up, let the field go by to the low side.
Sutton just got trapped behind
He
him.
started to have the struggles and faded quickly on the other side. Let's get a Joe's Racing Products update from Jim Trado.
Word from the drivers, something broke in the rear end. They're looking at the right rear. They removed the tire. Didn't look long in the fender well, but they said, let's take our time to get the lug nuts back on by hand. So if there was a vibration from the right rear tire, that's one thing. But when he stopped on the racetrack, he got rolled. He said, something might have broke. They said, come here and let us take a look and we'll fix it.
So they just
2 laps down.
Yep, and they just put a right rear on it.
Penalty is out of the driver who hails from north of the border. Now calls
Put the old one back on.
Home. Elton Trailer good at giving us good stats and stuff that make you go, but we're about 13 laps from the halfway mark of the 57th running of the Snowball Derby, and only 4 of the last 23 Snowball Derbies has the halfway leader gone on to win the race.
Man, we're beating up a lot of equipment today.
But it makes you think this race isn't over yet at 150 because only 4 of the last 23 leaders have actually been at the end of the race out front as we send it back down the bottom.
Toby Newman is the crew chief for Ty Majeski. Ty had said the car was really good that first run. What's the difference between that first run and this run right now?
It's a little bit tighter. It isn't quite doing what he wants it to do. Obviously, the 21 must have made a really good adjustment, and we didn't adjust. So now we're going to have to work on it a little bit. It's just hard.
We didn't adjust, so we got to work on it. Surprised he did the interview to start off with. He's not a very
he's not a camera guy.
No, he's not.
Before racing might have said, here, buddy.
Yeah, you're gonna do this.
Yeah, correct.
Let's get an update from the other team that is on the front row. Just need the leader of that, of Caden Honeycutt, for another Joe's Racing Products update. Let's go trackside.
Before this caution, I checked with JC Oshai and said, what is your driver saying? Any news since you said, not much.
Not much. He's happy.
What are you guys going to change? It's so hard to predict because the car's rolling so good.
Just few little things. Driver's got it.
And he said the communication has been there with Caden since they were racing legends together. JC and Caden, he said, I know what my driver wants. Not a lot of chatter on the radio, but a leader.
That's scary.
So you got 2 guys that either need no adjustments or very little adjustments sitting up front there.
So let's see what they do with this 28 here.
Thorne must have pitted because he's in the back now.
The second leader on the day, alongside of the pole sitter and defending winner, 2-time winner of this race, Ty Majeski.
Man, all sorts of shit unraveled there.
Chandler Smith.
We still got half this race to go yet.
Yep.
Sammy Smith lurking just outside of the top 5, driving as a team.
Bubba up to 4th.
The white 26 of Bubba Pollard, ready for the restart.
Oh, Bubba didn't go.
Pollard gets stacked up. Everybody survives for now. And the restart is going to stand. Majeski does not get the launch on the top side. Honeycutt to the lead off turn 2 for the moment. Scary moment coming off of 4 for a restart. We've had a few of those here today. This time we may have avoided disaster.
Yikes.
Honeycutt's out front. Majeski drops in line. Sawallich follows. Start to add new players.
What the hell happened?
Chandler Smith running 4th, but Matt Craig haven't talked about him much in the 76.
It's crazy. There's Cole Raz.
His name to the picture here as he's inside. Bubba Pollard.
Bubba's just trying to gather himself up now. Front end looks good.
Reset here as
Nothing on the rear. The car looks fine.
The car looks fine. Just didn't go.
I think the biggest improvement so far inside of Bubba Pollard, going to try to get up into 6 here. Yeah, Cole Raz on the move. Started this race at 19th. He was just outside of the top 10 a bit ago, but now he's...
Yeah, Cole Raz went from almost being a lap down to in contention here. Guy that's slowly sneaking his way up yet too. Matt Craig up to P5.
The job he did to get him through the massive pileup that took place earlier on in this event. Cole not only survived the carnage, but as you said, he's worked his way up.
That's Swallow. That little weasels. He's going to be there too.
He's just sitting there. Yep. As long as he doesn't come across Gregson, I think he'll be all right.
Dip top.
Well, he might be back up front anyway. He's closing the gap again.
Oh man.
And obviously, from Sawallich's standpoint, you're running 3rd. You got Honeycutt sitting there. Majeski obviously knows his way around. You know, how are you just kind of riding, seeing what these guys are doing, learning?
Yeah.
You're figuring your stuff out here for end of the race, really.
Adjustment is because they just lost the lead because of the adjustment, because they think the 21 made a better adjustment because clearly they didn't make any. So that 21 car is better just because of what they did.
That's actually kind of crazy that the 91 didn't make any changes. Like,
they're gonna do something this time.
Yeah.
It takes them a little while, so then you're hoping at the end of the race, however that race plays out, works out for how your car is set up.
100%. That's what
Craig's hood's a little crumpled up.
It ends in so many different ways and fashions that there is never the same Snowball Derby. You're never going to get the same script and same storylines. It's always something different. You never know.
Halfway.
As I think is that storyline for me right now. Never would have expected him to even make it through that crash when we saw it, and now up here fighting for.
So I think with Bubba's moment, he just needs to. He's just trying to ride here for a little bit.
He's got to regroup himself a little bit. Yeah.
Lost a few positions by virtue of the stack up that happened to the outside lane on the restart. Both he and Bubba Pollard surviving that instance that took place on the last attempt to get us back underway as we come to
Why is he running up so high?
150 laps to go with Nasty trying to fend off Dustin Sutton for this 14th position. Nasty kind of moved up into the outside lane. I don't know if he's real comfortable with the handling of his car at this point.
That thing that tight?
It was just a bobble that sent him up to the second groove. I don't think he's going to be able to get to the bottom for a bit either. As they're lining up to the low lane, here comes Feccio in the 89, right behind him, Cole Butcher in the 28. Stephen Nassie, after working his way up into the top 10, starting to backpedal now. 15th, maybe 16th, maybe even 17th.
Nassie have a problem?
Ooh, Honeycutt hit Majeski under caution, working his tires.
Now that 08 car passing the 54, now making another spot here. This is the battle for 7th. Jace Hansen, a new player to the game here, just outside the top 5. Pretty sure Jace Hansen, he was struggling, remember, before that one yellow. He came to the pits. I think he's got fresher rubber than these other competitors, and it makes a big difference here at Five Flags Speedway.
100%. Obviously a multitude tire race that allows strategy to take your race car and make it look a little bit better than it is. Out of your screen, Jace Hansen now passes Bubba Pollard with that new rubber. Brent Cruz, you're seeing in the picture. Can't believe he's still out here. Really well done by the David Wilson Cruz. Now going to make a spot here on Sammy Smith. That puts him into the top 10.
Sammy's got fresh rubber though too, or not yet. Cruz though. Cruz has got fresh rubber.
Yep.
It's 20th spot. Similarly, Adam, I wonder if that 24 car came down, bolted on some fresh rubber, trying to assure themselves in that spot for an opportunity as he continues to hold down that what would be free pass position, if at all possible, as we've got a car off the pace in 3 and 4. It is David Gilliland, who you're going to see entering the pit lane here. A heartbreaker after sustaining that damage.
Fast car.
Very fast all weekend as Hansen dives low on Raz.
That new rubber makes it look like Superman here. He's so good right now, but that's going to pay dividends. We'll watch and see when the tires come down and the opposite happens.
Majeski's not letting Honeycutt get away from him at all.
No. What they do, they're obviously going to be down a set. They're going to have to bleed it, one run later in the race. That's going to be something we follow on pit road. But now, Ty Majeski now stalking in the tire tracks now of Caden Honeycutt. These two have broken away in the classier field so far.
Yeah, them two have broken away from Swatch.
Well, the other thing you got to remember now is as cars start to drop, what does that do? That shortens up. It shortens up them getting to lap traffic.
Yeah.
They don't get to lap traffic as fast as they did on their first run.
And with, like I was saying before too, like when do you take your tires?
Right.
Yeah. So that's cars you got to pass on the last restart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Majeski's putting the pressure on.
Honeycutt for the race lead. Honeycutt, we talked about 4 different races this week. He's also a driver that can get behind the wheel of a dirt car and do well. He races in stock cars, the heavier automobiles. No matter what he gets behind the wheel of, he's always fast. Right now, one car that might be just slightly faster as time adjusts.
Yep, Gillen without a car and done for the day.
For the race lead at the Snowball Derby. Yeah, guys, I have no doubt with 9-10 months from now, this is the battle we see at Phoenix for a truck championship.
But right now, it's for the Snowball Derby, the most prestigious short track race in America. 2 short track racers at heart. One a little bit more veteran and experienced than the other, 2 to his name. And
Honeycutt's about half a car off of the bottom.
Honeycutt starting to slide around a little bit as we watch Cole Raz climb into the top 5 for the first time today. Got around Chandler Smith on the right side of the 2 car. Smith showing a little bit of smoke there on the edges, turn 1. Bubba Pollard knocking on the doors, but Jeske gets the.
Here comes Majeski. Honeycutt just got to let him go.
By Majeski to take the top spot. So now we know that Majeski's car lasts a little longer. But that was a long green flag run that they've been on these same tires. For Majeski, I would think they would adjust to be a little bit better on a short run, but not try to give up the long run as well. It's a tough, fine line.
Well, that's the cat and mouse you got to play.
Longest run and longest time on tires. They've only used 1 set right now. There's 135 to go. We're past halfway. We've only used 1 set. There's 135 to go. You split it up. We go to the next one, put tires on, and go to the next. And it's going to be less than tires we ran. So that's going to be a part of that adjustment. If you overdo it or not, I think Honeycutt still has a little bit of the advantage because we won't go this long. But I think now the advantage starting to go back to Majeski only for the sake of how
Yo, Ager's putting on a good show, too.
Yeah, I think he's got the advantage of tires, though, too.
Yep, for sure.
This Snowball and tires. I think we have new tires on that 24 Brent Cruz. He is a lap off the pace. He wants to be the first driver 1 lap down so he can get a free pass, get back on the lead lap, and contend. He's got a car that seems fast enough to do it, Eric. And we weren't quite sure what the ebb and flow of this type of tire compound and combination was going to do in terms of differential and pace. Remember, the new Hoosier ST1s on the left side of these race cars, the ST3s on the right side for the first time in Derby history. And I think we're seeing with the performance of Jace Hansen up to 3rd and with Cruz rocketing through the field, albeit with the damage, staying the first car lap down, tires still matter a bunch at Five Flags Speedway. Yeah, you see the battle for 7th right here. But I think the biggest thing that is maybe the smartest thing for that Brent Cruz machine, with how fast he's going, they are closing in on Derek Thorne, currently the last car on the lead lap. If Cruz can keep this pace up, if Derek Thorne goes a lap down, Cruz is going to be there to pounce and keep to be the first car a lap down. He's not racing to get himself back on the lead lap. He's not racing to try to win the race. He's trying to put himself back on the lead lap here.
There's a lot of race left yet.
129 to go yet.
33 closing up on that Craig. He's got Sandy Smith to the 8 behind him. Craig running in the 8th position.
I didn't keep track of when this restart was from all when the next top caution's coming
on.
on.
I missed it too.
And the Alabama driver tied it to yet another Snowball Derby this weekend, starting in 23rd position. And he's up into the top 10 here right now as well. Single file, they've settled down a little bit. Next time we get a yellow flag, we'll definitely see a lot of pit stops well past the halfway mark. Close again on the final 100 here in just a little while. Chandler Smith running currently in that number 2 car in 7th. You see Matt Craig having a quiet but solid day last night, 1 spot short of winning his first
140, so we'll run to
Shepherd on your screen going another lap down, but that now
what's the math?
140?
Yeah, on lap 140. So we'll run to lap 80.
This could be different. This could be the difference here. If Jace Hansen gets
If they run 60 like they did last time.
Nope. Well, it was so many laps, but they didn't have any comp cautions in between there. Nothing was declared as a comp caution.
Yep.
So, God, why can't I do math right now? 2:15, so it'll be 85 to go. I think 85 to go is when the comp caution
Yep.
is.
Mr. Feel Goods in comparison to the competition. Oh, you feel great, but at the same time, you look how slow everybody is around you. You know this is going to be you, and you're going to be the only one. So it's going to be the whole field blowing by you left and right when you're not, and that's going to be the difference. But here, I think their game, or my guess is, they get out front, they can click off guys because of how long they've been on tires. They can lap a bunch of guys and keep themselves in a decent spot that they at least make their finish. Maybe they didn't think they had a shot at the Tom Dawson Trophy, but they had a shot to improve their finish here. We've seen people do it a lot. cup racing and whatnot. I know Ryan Sparks, he's done it a few times. Waiver rounds, you see waiver rounds just trying to improve their position by trying to catch guys a lap down when they're struggling. And I think that's exactly what Jace Hansen's trying to do.
Raz went from junk to the top 5.
Just wrapped up his second consecutive ARCA Menards E-Series championship, fending off Cole Raz for 4th. That is number 62 car. It is a Rackley War Racing Repair Machine. An announcement came out about a month ago that team would be combining efforts with Kevin Harvick Incorporated, thus the number font of this number 62, similar to what you had seen on the Cars Tour late model stock competition, as well as with a couple of super late model starts as well. So Wallach and that team representing the KHI Rackley War efforts, running well, but under heavy pressure with a small little bit of haze of smoke, most notably in turn 1. We've seen it from a few different drivers in this race. The 62 definitely letting a little bit of smoke out, almost like it has a small oil leak on the 62 car. We've seen it from Sawallich, number 62, as well as Chandler Smith's number 2 is Raz, able to get by Cole Raz up into the number 4 position. And really impressive by Cole Raz to be able to put this car up inside the top 5, now up to 4th. ACC William Sawallich, trying to keep up with that 76, with the 76 of Cole Raz. A lot of pace, able to instantly just drive away once he gets around him.
Yeah,
Lap 200. If we don't get a yellow before then, that's when the next competition yellow for our 75-lap run will take place. That's easy to remember. We're just 16 laps away from that the next time they cross
200.
the line. And to further enhance the meeting of tires, Cruz just continues to rocket his way up through the field. He's about to catch Sawallich, who is the 5th place.
Jeske leads Hansen by just a tad under a half a second.
Again, you said
right now.
Carson, he wants to try to remain
Let's
that
say you
car,
can just
that first car lap
had him in the camera shot.
Unfortunately for him,
Yep.
Derek Thorne just went a lap down. Derek Thorne, you see the right of your screen behind the 91.
Thorne just went a lap down.
Jace Hansen. Derek Thorne now the first car 1 lap down, but Jace Hansen reeling in 0.2 a lap better for the folks at home that don't have live timing and scores. The time of jet ski reeling it in, and a lot of cars in front of him that could put a lap down. That's the worst news Brett Cruz can hear as he's hustling and trying to get up there to at least the 7th car, but Jace Hansen might improve that and might even get further in the field. What a story that is, watching Derek Thorne, who has led so many laps in the Snowball Derby, going down a lap. Right now, Derek Thorne running in 17th. Hayden Plybon, the last car on the lead lap, running in 16th. Brent Cruz is going to keep pedaling for the next 13 laps, trying to be that first driver 1 lap down, but he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, so this is where Hansen is in a situation because he's already bolted on another set of stickers. You can't go back to scuffs.
He's going to have to stay out on this.
He's going to have to stay out on these. Well, he can pit. He's just not going to get adjustments. He's not going to be able to take tires.
Correct. Yep. So he's kind of, I don't want to say backed himself in the corner because he's got track position, but he he ain't going to have the speed that
unless you take your tires and you hope you can run them the full 100 then. But you now know you're going to have a comp caution with 25 to go.
Yep.
The caution to come about 10 laps from now should the race stay green as Hansen is there.
Hansen's there, but Jeske's about to get Plybon.
Before he put on tires. Honestly,
yeah, Plybon's looking to go a lap down. Damn.
If you're not going to be good on defense, let's be good on offense. Put tires on just to guarantee themselves that they're not going to be going a lap down. You see Derek Thorne, obviously really strong as Jace Hansen, now new leader of the Snowball Derby. Well, he went for it on 4th down and he made the move in turn 1 and 2. Jace Hansen out front. 109 laps to go. At some point in this race, he's going to be on older tires, but right now, he has come through the field, leading the way. And how about the crew cheering him on there as they are leading the Snowball Derby? And we talked about it several times. There's been a lot of relationships between that and longtime Snowball Derby competitor Preston Peltier, who's been helping this team, driver, and organization. And Hansen is in command of this race. Hey, Plybon, we talked about earlier in the show. It's the 55 car on the left of your screen. Dylan Fetcher already multiple laps down. That's the 89. Jace Hansen catching Hayden Plybon. Obviously, he wants to stay on the lead lap, but he's in a really good spot to be 1 down, or the first car 1 down for the Lucky Dog spot. But Hayden Plybon trying his best so he can line up with the lead lap cars and keep that car in striking distance when it comes later in the race. And guys, this is for 16th. Only 16 guys on the lead lap as Jace Hansen.
Jesus Christ, 16 guys on lead lap right now.
Dylan Fetcho going a third lap down for Flybon. He's the last car on the lead lap. Jace Hansen is there trying to get him. I think he'll be able to do it in the next 5 laps. But Flybon, a talented racer from the upper northwest, up on the wheel trying to stay ahead has got a tough task. But if he does get past, just drop in line and hope for the best.
There's never been a bigger Hayden Flybon fan than Derek Thorne, hoping he can stay in front, because Derek Thorne would be the lucky dog rewarded. But unfortunately, not good enough. Jace Hansen just took it out of fresh rubbers. Flybon now one down, who sets his sights on the next one. That's Dawson Sutton. Not going to be anywhere close as we're getting close towards our competition yellow. Here's a battle for position. This now just outside the top 5. Here's Sammy Smith trying to get up to and around Chandler Smith. Matter of fact, this is for 8. Sammy in the 8 car, Chandler in the 2. And Sammy Smith's trying to put himself in prime position with the controlled caution coming up. I'm not sure that Chandler's going to mind all that much losing that position, because when they double up to a restart, he will have that inside line if he stays in 9th position when the yellow falls 2 laps from now. I don't think he minds that position, but I think he minds that every time we see that 2 car, it's at the beginning of the run. And when we're last seeing him, he's getting past late in the run. That 2 car seems to struggle really, really late in these runs. And it's just a struggle. We kind of see it from all the Donnie Wilson cars a little bit. 28 car was their best bet. Lost him, obviously, but that 2 car seems to struggle only late in the run. You mentioned the 28 at Cole Butcher right now, still on the racetrack, but running a couple of laps off the pace in 22nd. They were able to make
the caution come out next time by here.
But he finds himself mired deep in the pack. So Jace Hansen out in front of Ty Majeski. After charging his way up through the fields, he's going to have about an 0.8 of a second lead as he can close lap number 200 of the Snowball Derby. 1/3 of the distance to go, and the caution flag will wave for the 7th time this afternoon. 2nd time we've seen it for the competition. Caution, and Jace Hansen is in control. We'll step aside momentarily, and we will be back to cover the controlled pit stops. Less than 100 laps.
Pit stops coming up.
We'll be back to
100 to go.
Right after this.
Psoriatic arthritis is tough.
Symptoms can be unpredictable.
One day, their joints hurt. Next, it's on your skin. It's painful.
I couldn't move like I used to. I got Cosentix.
Well, how are we feeling about our picks?
I mean, I'm feeling good about my Majeski pick. Rogeriel's just kind of hanging around. He's right around that top 10 right now.
I'm not in a great spot.
Yep, Thorne's lapped out. Madison's kind of struggling.
Yep.
I'll say Cam's got Pollard, who's just kind of riding around.
Yep.
And then he had Sammy Smith, who's running up top 5. So
Collectively, Cam's doing the best.
Yep.
Between his 2. You're in a really good spot with Majeski.
Check out these moves. What's the move? Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Oh boy, lots of rubber for these boys. Well, here they come.
Oh, remember we were talking about Doodleman winning the best photo from last year? Here's the photo that won it.
That'll do it.
Yep.
All right. Pit stop's underway. Hanson's put theirs on.
Second round of pit stops for super late models in the 57th Snowball Derby. Everybody on pit road right now taking 4 new tires and making some changes. Chase Hansen is the leader of this race, and a Cinderella story in the making here. This driver out of Colorado won a bunch of races out west, but leading the Snowball Derby now. I spoke to Preston Peltier, who built this race car. It's a one-of-a-kind, a brand new race car coming into this weekend. No changes whatsoever on Chase Hansen's machine. That's how good this race car is right now. Just 4 new tires, fill it up with fuel, and nothing else for Chase Hansen. Jim Trado?
Hansen's putting tires on.
About not making changes. They're now making 2 changes to the left front and the right rear when it comes to suspension changes. Tire pressure adjustments as well for the driver that wants to get better, because Hansen and Majeski both got by him in that long run. Other updates on this end of pit road forthcoming, but his Hamke chassis running well. Now they're going to put new tires on this car. Again, they have just 3 sets playing. This is the second fresh set going on since the start of the race.
Thanks, gentlemen. And you see the work continuing down here on what is our 7th caution of the race. Stephen Nassie's team now going to attend to that damage after they stayed out on the last yellow. We talked about the right side of that car being a little bit bucked up after one of the restart stack-ups that didn't draw yellow, and they elected to stay out on the caution between that moment and now.
Carson, we got a little more word from the Chase Hansen situation. Remember when he was about to go a lap down?
Pollard asks crew chief for a rag. He's got fumes in his eyes.
Yeah, he didn't put tires on him. We thought he had used a set. Now he's used another set. Obviously, we saw him blow through the field to get to the lead.
No.
They're smarter than I thought. Like, honestly, like, we did not see the game plan there. We obviously missed it, and able to have another set there that he's square even. Everybody now has one set. We were confused why he was taking tires. Why take your last set?
Honeycut.
To go. Now it's very limited.
Need security in 3. Can't wrap the bottom and drive off. Adjust track bar adjustment and lift spacer.
But look at the rear window brace on this 26 machine. The middle has come loose on Bubba Pollard's machine. So just a note here as we have cars.
Of course. How coincidental. Window brace.
205 laps in. Thanks, Bob. Now, that was a story of something that was indicated during some of the practice sessions, and I believe it did draw the ire of officials, and there was a little bit of a verbal warning handed off to that team about how it could affect the car down the straightaway. That's something we have to keep an eye on here as this race continues to unfold.
Less than 100 to go. Teams was still.
Cole Butcher stayed out to get the wave around.
You know, didn't really have a choice.
Rejoin where you were running when you came down. Second time that we've seen a controlled caution where the entire field has come down the pit lane, either 4 tires, 4 adjustments, with Bubba Pollard getting back out on the race car. Racetrack. One driver who had a very close call to start this race survived that, now has a very fast race car. Cole Raz, it's Jim Trado with the Joe's Racing Products pit update.
Yeah, Eric Brennan, think about this. He started 19th in Cole Raz, and I thought, hey, maybe they went off sequence because they had that early issue. Well, I came down here during that green flag run. I thought maybe they got their second set already. The pace he had running top 5 in the last 45, 50 laps. No, he had 8 lane. Crew Chief Jeff Jefferson in the Sports City chassis. That car is turning. All they did was change the right rear air pressure, change 4 tires, and because it's 64 degrees and a little bit of windy here, Jeff Jefferson said, why don't we put more tape on the nose? It's a 6-inch opening, and mandatory they have to have 3 inches of that covered. That doesn't say you can't cover more, but they had 3 inches have to be covered. So they were going to maybe put more tape on. They did not, which is the tire pressure change for Cole Raz. The driver said, hey, I don't know what else to change. I think we're right where we need to be right now.
Driver out of Lake Oswego, Oregon, is doing tremendous in that number 76 entry. Made his show last year for his first Snowball Derby appearance. Got a top 20. Got a really quick car right now. Another Joe's Racing Products update from Bob Dillner.
The secret sauce right now, maybe, for Chase Hansen, this guy right here, Preston Peltier, a former Snowball Derby pole sitter, a car of your design. A lot of pressure on you, I'm sure, for this one. How good is it? Why didn't you change anything, Preston?
We didn't change anything but 4 tires and fuel, man. This new P1 chassis is really good. These guys had a doubt in their mind that they belong here, and I'm telling you right now, that's a statement. They belong here. This is where I belong, and I'm actually enjoying being on this other side of the steering wheel.
How good is Jace Hansen for those that don't know him?
He's very talented, very smooth behind the wheel. Like you would never know by.
Well, we got our first new leader in a while here. Yep.
I think we're in a.
Hey guys, the one thing that Jace told me is he's raised with Preston. He knows how good he is, and now he's got Preston Beltier on his side.
Thanks, Bob. One of the biggest moments
Uh-oh.
for Jace Hansen's career came back in 2023.
Thorne having motor issues.
Yep. Race at Colorado National Speedway after the untimely and unexpected loss of his brother.
Paulie.
There's Paulie back there, yep.
Moments of his career, I'm sure that if he could hang on to win the Tom Dawson Trophy, this would certainly be right up there with those crowning achievements for that Colorado native. And we saw Derek Thorne on the pit lane.
All right, so we're gonna have Hansen, Majeski, Honeycutt, Raz,
Swallows,
and Bubba.
Bubba with that broken window brace again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks similar towards the power plant or something of that nature they're working on. Unfortunate, but Derek Thorne not going to be able to repeat the magic. It looked like he had the car to do it anyways, but not going to give himself a shot late in the race, whether strategy or anything. But JC,
Man, my picks are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
to give yourself the best opportunity.
You gotta struggle all weekend. You didn't have good derby or don't picks either.
Exactly what they're going to do is we're going to head it down real quick for Jim Trade over to Joe's Racing Pit Product.
Nope. Uncle T didn't really do me any favors.
Did something break in the record? He said, no, we just have that flat tire. Now, when they stop, they have to take a screw-up penalty. They have one lap back, so Butcher's not that yet.
Back green.
No stack up this time. Everybody goes.
Level playing field now with Ty Majeski battling for the lead off to 92 laps to go in the Derby, and they're still wheel to wheel in turn 3 for the lead.
Derek Thorne snuck back out on the racetrack, might be coming back to the pits. Leading the lap will be Ty Majeski.
Majeski gets the lead. Gets the lead out on the outside.
Hansen falls in line.
So we're going to be about 20 to go.
Well,
I don't
that's
think
going
go
to
is
get
good.
good.
The next talk caution. Yep. Most notably, Hansen used his last set of stickers.
Hansen's got the car rolling as Honeycutt surges forward in the center of the corner.
Yeah, now we get to see how good the 08 car really is. We saw him on pressure rubber for that whole last run, and he was able to quickly work his way through the field to take the lead. Right now, it's holding its own. It's not as good as Majeski at this point. They may have adjusted for that short run. Here it's side by side between
Swallows got by Raz.
62 and Raz in the 76.
Forward. Yeah, Koraz went from quick change of play from offense to defense now as he's now under pressure here shortly by Matt Craig. Koraz so had some pace, but I think we were talking about earlier, Majeski and Honeycutt, how important that position was. Majeski was able to have front row safe, get around.
Honeycutt putting pressure on Hansen.
Now under pressure, Jace Hansen making this a lot more difficult than maybe we anticipated. The problem for Honeycutt is that Ty Majeski has already opened up a 1 second advantage ahead of this battle. How patient is Honeycutt going to be, knowing that he has got to dig deep to battle?
Well, I'd say now is when the wick gets turned up.
Yep.
On that end of the racetrack.
Hansen's car is strong on equal tires with his competition. He's holding off the 21 of Honeycutt. In fact, putting a couple of car links on him back a little further.
We're going on Smith.
Chandler Smith running in the 8th spot. Bubba Pollard right beside him. Stephen Massey joining the battle. They repaired the front end of his race car.
Nasty and Bubba.
Oh boy.
Oh, to me, the in car. Right away.
Some sort of that nature. Now seeing them 7, 8, 9. These guys trying to work on their race car. They're going to have one more chance to work on their cars. Massey able to fix his race car, get it up and going. But now under pressure, now from Gio Ruggiero off turn number 2. Trey told us they had to do some repairs on the front end of Gio Ruggiero's car. You see the black tape on the white number 22 of Ruggiero as Massey has gone up and cracked the top 10. After sustaining damage earlier in the event, not quite the blaze and fire trail that he cut up through the field in the snowflake last night. But Nassy's still working his way up towards the front as Ruggiero.
Hansen saved a set, so he's on the same playing field for tires.
Oh boy.
Outside of the top 10. We saw him just outside of the top 5 a little bit.
So the last go around he ran, or the first go around he ran long.
Yep. 17 to go was the official mark for count caution.
Last night from 24 to first to win his first snowflake, looking for his first derby, trying to become the first driver to sweep the weekend of Flake and Derby. Nassie's got his work cut out for him, especially with Ruggiero. He's laying down some great laps. At the front of the field, he has a 1.7-second lead. Watching Bubba Pollard hard at work, trying to fend off Nassy. Ironic, these two would find each other yet again. They almost get together in a similar way as they did a year ago, right there on the approach to turn 1. But Nassy backed out of it and remains about 2 car lengths off of the back bumper of Bubba Pollard as we ride with Nassy trying to chase down the 26. What do you see right here, Carson? When you see these two rivals battling here at the tail end of the top 10, both cars look to be pretty.
Man, Nassy can get into 1 and 2 really good.
A little better in and in the middle, and then Pollard's exit seems to be a little better. Yeah, Bubba Pollard always really good center off, really easy down to end. Nassy maybe a little bit more aggressive, but honestly, I think these drivers are both frustrated. They both only care to win these races. They only care to come win this race. It's only on their mind. So when you find your neighbor or your frenemy or whatever you want to label these two, rival, whatever, when they're both frustrated, that's really where that spark can ride. Either one don't want to be patient, especially when they're around each other. See, Pollard takes a little higher entry, and that probably will help him exit off the corner, able to get into the throttle a little earlier. Pollard's made 17 starts now in the Derby. Nassy's made 14 starts in the Derby. These two drivers have started this race more than anyone else in it. They're two of the most talented super late model drivers in the country. They've won just about everything. But the Snowball Derby.
I was swung a little bit there.
Coming off turn 2, you saw Hardy working on the wheel there to keep that car down to the bottom as Nassy closes back up. Less than 75 laps to go. Ty Majeski out in front by about 2 seconds, and the report down trackside for the pit lane is that Bubba's car is starting to really tighten up right now, and that's allowing Nassy to slow.
Nassy, I think, is starting to come around here a little bit.
He is. He's going to be in a solid-ish spot.
Not turning well. Nassy looking for the opportunity to pounce. He was fighting tight conditions earlier as well. And that's what Anthony Campy and the team was working on.
Anthony's still holding strong in second, too.
Yep. Go to them to figure out the strategy to do that.
Yep, but obviously Majeski's pulled away here. He's got a couple second lead. Is is Majeski burning up his stuff, or B, does Hansen just not have enough and is holding Honeycutt back?
Correct.
Because the other thing too is that even when Honeycutt was running second, Majeski was pulling away.
Oh,
and he pulled
boy. Bubba giving him the lane.
Nassy now into turn 3 will take the spot away, move Steven Nassy up to 8. Pollard tries to get back to him, and he could there in the middle of the corner. You see that car struggle a little bit on quarter exit as Nassy takes over the spot. We watch the onboard with Bubba Pollard, and you can see he's putting a lot of wheel in it. There's hardly ever a jerk back to the right where it's a little bit free. It's all turning to the left.
He's got a lot of wheel on that thing.
Pollard in the tight condition. How low you want to be entry and exit and wars being loose, because when you're on that line,
That actually looks pretty good.
Yep.
It really gets you going.
Drilling in Chandler Smith.
It keeps your car security and adds a little bit of wedge to it, and able to be an adjustment. It is really hard here to make an adjustment to get that thing de-wedged, you get it turning, especially when you snap 3. Now you're tight window drive on. Not a lot of changes in track conditions, as they just tell us that the track temperature.
He hasn't been here for all day, so it's hard to know if he'll have anything for the 91.
Yep.
You know.
Track conditions for these race teams, as we see the battle for 4th position continue to materialize. And as we look at Ty Majeski on the left, this battle for 4th on the right, how about Jace Hansen holding on to that second spot on the equal footing with the competition around him? He's actually pulled away from Caden Honeycutt, and this battle for 4th on the right side of your picture, Hansen is doing a great job as Paul Raz looks to the bottom on Sawallich. Now, really impressive 200 here. Jace Hansen and Paul Raz now running 2nd and 4th. Really impressive.
Damn dark horses.
Impressive with Jace Hansen. We heard it from Preston
Yeah.
here. The driver in his own element in there. I think he's right
writing a book, as I've heard multiple times, and that book's the rule book. He is constantly adapting and overcoming, but they made no adjustments. They felt good about their race car, but at the same time, they didn't get equal playing field. I think that's smart. Knowing another adjustment later.
Nasty's picking him up and putting him down right now.
He's going after Craig right now.
Straight back to back it, running second, maybe an
For
adjustment
6th.
away from getting that Tom Dawson.
I'll drive off at 2 and 4. Really good.
Lurking just outside of the top 5. Makes the move on Matt Craig. Those two drivers battled for first and second last night in the snowflake. They were both looking for their first flake win. They're both looking for their first Derby win. And Stephen Nasse at about the right time in this race, moving forward just one spot out of the top 5.
The best we've seen Nasse, I think, all day. Got his damage repaired, got a few adjustments going. Now looking good. We see super low on exit. That car's got a lot of drive in it.
Majeski in 18-1. Case Hansen in 18-1. Honeycutt in 18-2. Raz in 18-1. Swatch in 18-1. Nasse in 18-0.
Nasse, a lot of corrections, very small, but very minimal. Making a little bit of a brake bias adjustment.
18-1 for Majeski. 18-2 for Hansen. A 2 for Honeycutt. A 2 Raz. A 1-9 for Swatch. And 0-3 for Nasse. So slowly picking away.
10 laps, 15 laps, whatever it takes. That free, it's going to be more noticeable because the pace is going to back down, your front's going to load more, and the more you lift off the throttle, that more that transition, and the more that thing's going to rip. It's crazy seeing the difference on how they're handling the wheel. Nasse back and forth, which means it's fairly neutral, I would say, especially compared to Bubba Pollard, who was just cranking it left all the way through the turn. And that thing's really strong, running really, really fast lap times. The fastest car on the racetrack currently is 17.97 to the leaders 0.8, and all the cars in front of him running 1s and 2s. The strongest car on the racetrack, the only one that's been able to run inside the 17 seconds in the last few laps. Really strong, and it's that roll speed. Roll speed is what
Couple questions from Brandon Shepard's car last night. It was a 2022 XR1 with 1.2 updates. The newest thing on the car was the shock package.
Just being disciplined, that yellow line, and the easiest way to do it is when the car turns down there and wants to be there. Ty Majeski continues to be out in front of the field.
Goodwin pacing as he always does.
Pace back and forth, unsure as to how the final 55 laps of this race are going to go. When Majeski comes back around as he goes to the inside of Brett Cruz, who's showing a little bit more evidence of another.
I love that their flow is sprinkling in a little audio, in-car audio here and there.
Yep.
I feel like Majeski, probably one of the best drivers in this field, is giving feedback to his crew. And he's giving feedback to a crew who is probably one of the best crew chiefs in all of short track racing, and Toby Noodleman. I think the right feedback was given, the right adjustments were made. He's dominant right now. He's up to a 2.67 lead.
Butcher off the pace again.
Chase Hansen in second. They're going to have one more pit stop. These guys are all going to come in and take tires. See if anybody makes an adjustment to get up there and compete with him. But Stephen Nasse.
So Nasse's got 30 to try to. Oh, Christ, he's got a rocket ship.
Nasse's in 5th. Just got 5th with 53 to go. Hey, with and a caution to come.
I don't think it's all sunshines and rainbows over there riding off into the distance.
The Ford Racing podcast couple races.
Oh, they do. Pretty weekly series.
Yeah, Cup
Series.
Series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did it say Cup Series or just NASCAR?
Cup Series.
Drive around them. There's not going to be really any strategy at flat, but they've seen the lead go away in different ways. Self-inflicted what they could have done for strategy, and self-inflicted what they could have done adjustments. So it ain't over yet. I know Toby Noodleman right now is stressing because he has in his hands one of the best race cars in the business and one of the best race drivers in the business at their favorite racetrack or one of their favorite racetracks for the most prestigious race, and he's got it in his hands to make the adjustments so Ty Majeski can do his job.
What I love about this race today, Eric, is the differences we have in the top 5. Majeski and Nasse, no surprises there. But second, third, and fourth, Eric.
Don't have to fly bond to lap him.
In the top 5 of the Derby today.
Yeah.
Right now, the battle for third is starting to
Raz is running down Honeycutt.
Coming fast, and Stephen Nasse. This is Honeycutt in third position. Cole Raz just behind him. They're not that far off.
So Jesse's going to have some new competition on this restart if they kind of run the way that they are between Hansen, Raz, and possibly Nasse, depending on how far up he can get.
Yep.
And he's trying to give it to the driver. Started outside of the front row with Caden Honeycutt for the final spot on the podium with less than 50 laps to go. A lap ago, saw Stephen Nassy was the fastest car on the racetrack. He and Ty Majeski were in the ones a lap ago. Majeski very consistent, though. He's done it a few laps in a row. In fact, that lap was quicker than his last two. These drivers using some old tires. 30 laps now away from a competition yellow. If we don't have one before then, we're inside the last 50 of this race. Crews down there thinking about how they're going to do the last pit stop, what they're going to adjust. Obviously, tires will be going on, and that will make all the cars feel better at that point.
Saw Caden Honeycutt's crew chief on the right side talking to his guys, talking about tire pressure.
Nasty gonna have a shot at Raz here, or no?
Let's see here.
He's barely sneaking into the TV screen.
Massey is about a half second back of Raz right now.
Do something, or they missed it, or didn't have enough time. That can make the difference when you are trying to get the Tom Dawson trophy.
Oh, now he's a third, 3 tenths back. So he's coming up to Raz. And Raz was getting to Honeycutt there for a little while too.
He's closing up on the 4-car, Luke Fenhouse. Luke Fenhouse, good qualifying effort. Not a great run today.
Lapping up to 15th.
A little bit. Fenhouse currently 15th. A little bit off of what we expected today for the driver of the number 4.
And just keep working on his tires and Caden Honeycutt.
The lead right now.
No quotation.
3.6
This motherfucker
seconds for
just hit me.
over Jace Hansen. Caden Honeycutt,
Yep.
Raz, Stephen Nassy rounding out the top 5. Nassy
In
was
front of
the last
Fenhouse is
lap
about
line.
to roll out down.
18 ones right now as the pace is slowed as the tires continue to age. And the pace is also slowed for a car that was on the move, albeit in terms of lap times, but not in terms of differential. Here comes Stephen Nassy. We talk about Nassy and Bubba.
Oh yeah, he'll have a shot at Raz here.
Might even have a shot at Honeycutt.
Yep.
Nassy has crossed the finish line first in a Snowball Derby before. He talked about it very openly on our Drive to the Derby coverage. What was a long-form interview that he did with Rob Blount. And he said he could not believe the effects of what happened at the tech shed, but it motivated him more than ever. Equally, he had a similar situation happen in the Snowflake 100 a year later. He got redemption for that race last night, and he's looking for redemption for the 2019 Derby, and he is cutting his way up to the front.
These positions are really important for Nassy to get because Ty Majeski's not going to have that long of a run to be able to fire off and get away and be able to get ran back down. Stephen Nassy, if he's going to do it, he's got to do it from the first 2 rows, in my opinion. He's not going to be able to do it from 3rd row back without some help from a yellow or some kind. As maybe
Yeah, he's got to go.
some kind. There's
there's panic from the Campy camp.
81 camp with maybe an issue kind of off the pace, maybe a little bit. Yeah, he started to fade back. He's lost a couple of car lengths. He's feeling that he has a flat tire. It's still up to speed somewhat, but he feels like the pressure is going down in one of the tires. He's still fairly up to speed, but his run toward Cole Raz has dropped off a bit.
Oh boy.
The action from the crew in real time. The Anthony Campy Racing team working alongside with Nassy after a big bobble off in turn 4, but he has now kept pace with that of Cole Raz, and they are looking closely at the car as it comes down the front straightaway that time by.
You see the frustration and the intensity.
Yeah, the run is kind of stalled out for Nassy. Problem is he's got to go another 20 laps yet.
I guarantee he's staying out on the racetrack until that thing it makes him stop. But Anthony can't be worried now with this AC81 car that this is now a worry for them. What's ironic about it, if it's not a tire and it happens to be something else, because he's actually closed the gap a little bit the last couple of laps on Cole Raz after he was starting to fade, is sort of kind of stagnated a little bit here as he was making his move and potentially going to get up into 3rd or 4th. So whatever it was, doesn't seem to be that bad right now. They're keeping their fingers crossed for the next 17 laps.
This is what the intensity does of the Snowball Derby. When you're doing everything right and the car's doing anything, I'm not going to say you sometimes talk yourself into an issue, but when you have so many things happen for Stephen Nassy, sometimes you can create something, right? Some sort of small field, some sort of small anything different. You are worried about it, and it could be something as small as leak all of a sudden the car is completely destroyed because the right front tire feels like it's going to come off.
Well, he reeled him back in a little bit.
Yeah, he's reeling him in.
So smart, so much experience, and so much pressure on this, you can talk yourself into a problem on Stephen Nasty. So right now, until that thing is on the rim, it's just worry and go forward, and I think that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and I think he maybe a false alarm. He's closed the gap again on Cole Raz. And we are 14 laps away from a competition yellow.
We did see Nasty reach up and play with the switches on the left side of that car. I wonder if he's trying to counteract what he's starting to do with the car, maybe turning off a couple of the blowers if at all possible to see what he can do to get that car back up to the pace it displayed before the initial panic moment for that team as he is closed right back in on Cole Raz. Clive on just in front of him in the 55 is a lap down, and here is Nasty all over the back end of the 76 trying to get up to fourth. This spot could be for the Snowball Derby. There's not going to be many laps left at all. You hear the spotter communication. There's not going to be many laps left. It's going to be a short run. You're going to have to be in the first two rows to even get a shot at time of jet ski. So this move could give Stephen Nasty a shot at the Tom Dawson Trophy at time of jet ski.
I think it would prefer to be in the third position for that restart. This would give him outside of row number 2, makes the move around.
Oh, we got a caution. Gregson. This will probably be your comp caution.
Yep.
Noah Gregson goes around, brings out the yellow. 28 laps to go. We will see most likely our final pit stops this afternoon. The final fresh tires put on these rides and the shootout to the checkered flag in the 57th running of the Snowball Derby.
Essentially the last chance for the race teams to make adjustments and bolt on the set of Hoosier rubbers they were saving in the pits as Gregson looks for clear running room to get that car righted. Majeski, Hansen, Honeycutt, Raz, and Nasty are top 5. And this is the point of the race where all of the hard work, all of the preparation, all of the levels of preparedness and game plans that these teams and drivers have orchestrated are going to be the ultimate test
here you go.
to see who will win the Snowball Derby in 2024.
26 laps to go. The Nasty situation was strange. Here's a look at the replay of the Gregson deal. He was running 13th at the time. Reagan Prettier leader, I believe that was the 33. Dustin Smith, who was running 14th, battling for the last car, on the lead lap, potentially racing for the lucky dog. This is your opportunity to try and stay on the lead lap right before the last pit stop. Unfortunately, Noah Gregson just kind of getting ran over on exit, and unfortunately, it took him so long to get spun back around. Now 2, maybe 3 laps down, going to take him right out of the Derby. Rolling under yellow. Ty Majeski so strong on that green flag run. I don't foresee many changes on the Majeski car. It was so good on that. We said that earlier, though, and all of a sudden the 21 showed up to play. The 08 hasn't made any adjustments on their stuff.
What was that about?
That was weird.
Cars working their way on the pit lane, just like what we've seen pretty much all day long. Just about everybody is going to come down. Brent Cruz, Jake Finch, a couple of other cars maybe thinking about staying out. Let's get a Joe's Racing Products pit update from Bob Dillner.
Last time down for Ty Majeski, it was an air pressure adjustment. This time, just like the first time, Adam Mackey hit the nail on the head. No adjustments whatsoever to this Ty Majeski team. It'll just be 4 tires and some fuel. That is it. Majeski says this car is really good. And honestly, guys, throughout the entire run, Toby Noodleman told me he didn't speak at all until the caution came out. Ty Majeski very happy with this race car, Jim Trado.
Yeah, the team for the number 21 of Caden Honeycutt was given hand notes by the crew chief. Not a lot of on radio discussion to decipher, but they went to the air pressure gauge to the last possible second. Keep in mind with this 25-lap dash, tire pressures usually are increased because of the shorter run. So Honeycutt and his team trying to get the tire pressures right for the shorter run and adding some tape across the nose as well. It's not at 63 degrees, guys. The wind is foul, but these cooler temperatures allow them to tape off the nose for a little bit better aero.
Anthony Campy told me they thought they had a tire going down on the Stephen Nasty number 51 machine, but really no major adjustments to this race car. Nasty likes it for the first time today. It still is a little bit tight, so maybe a minor air pressure adjustment is what they were talking about. But this team is very happy with this 51 car at this point of the game. Steven Nassie's got a shot at the Snowball Derby.
Cole Raz has his start out here under the direction of Jeff Jefferson. This is the Northwestern United States super team when it comes to late models. Raz is on pit road. Jeff Jefferson directing from the pit box. He is telling them to make a left front suspension change, air pressure adjustment. They talked about taping the nose a little bit more, just cleaning the grill right now. So Raz, out of Oregon, this 21-year-old, has a really good piece. They talked about controlling the restart. They're already thinking about what needs to come as they roll their last set of Hoosier tires.
Chase Hansen down here, and the team has just changed 4 tires. A slight air pressure adjustment. Preston Pelletier talking the lug nuts on this 08 car. Again, this is a wild ride for Chase Hansen here today. His best shot for sure. Had a huge Super Late Model win, but really no complaints for Chase Hansen on this 08.
A lot of work,
Whoa.
a lot of time to get it done as all the cars start to return.
All right, so pretty much everybody took their tires. Yep.
Laps to go with a 57th annual Snowball.
Not many adjustments, if any.
Nope. Very minimal adjustments.
We're gonna have about 20 to go.
Between 20 and 24, yeah.
Lights, the decorations, snow.
You remind me of Christmas, and now I'm getting hungry because I'm thinking of cookies.
I love gift giving season because it's a perfect time to show
It's gonna be
people that you love.
My dad does this thing.
elbows up.
She's gonna be rough and rowdy.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. I also have a feeling that this ain't the last restart either.
Yeah. It always makes me so happy.
It's my favorite
Oh.
thing to gift a timeless piece of jewelry to my best friend, and then 5 years later, they're still wearing it.
I love jewelry because it's the cherry on top. They remind me of Christmas, and now
It's just gonna be a matter of
cookies.
who it is.
My dad does this thing where he puts my gift in a box, and it's the most fun, exciting thing ever.
You know?
Yep. Jeske takes the inside, Hansen to the outside.
All right.
Field is doubling up. We are about a lap and a half away from the restart for the 57th annual Snowball Derby presented by Flow Sports. The biggest short track race of the year is going to come down to a Saturday night short track style shootout. Before we get to one signal, we'll throw it down to Joe's Racing Products. Pit reporter Bob Gilder.
For Chase Hansen, it has been the ride of his life. His crew chief, Preston Pelletier, making a last-minute change on that pit stop. So the car was a little bit tight. Let's make an adjustment. Spring rubber in that right rear. He's hoping that change propels.
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, gentlemen, I don't know about you two, but I can certainly feel the energy at an all-time high that it's been here all week long. This is where everything is going.
Nasty inside row 3. Where's Bubba?
Trying to win his third Snowball Derby.
Bubba ain't in the top 4 rows.
Roll the spoiler, along with Kanan Honeycutter, who's led laps today. Cole has it fourth. Steven Nassie, your top 5. Yeah, right here in your top 6. Only one of them has gone to Snowball Victory Lane with the Tom Gossett Trophy.
There we go.
Coming to 21. Time Majetski leads us to the green.
Big jump from Majeski. Whoa! Push from Honeycutt. Oh man.
There's Nasty.
Here comes Majeski back. He's going to bump him back. There it is. Yeah.
Caden Honeycutt now back on the offense into one. And Honeycutt was trying to shut the door before Nasty got there. Nasty gets jacked up by Hansen.
Nasty and Hansen going at it for third. Here comes Honeycutt again.
Battle for the lead, battle for third. Nasty up the track back
Ooh.
to the third spot. Majeski trying to get just enough room for Honeycutt to trying to keep him slowed down as well. New leader in turn 2. Honeycutt takes it back.
Majeski's going to try and hit him here again, I think.
Right now down the back straightaway. King Honeycutt trying to make it 1 and to 3. The biggest gap we've seen in the last 2 laps. Honeycutt
Nasty up to third. Honeycutt takes the lead. Majeski in second, but Majeski's not going to let him go away.
All of them instantly watching their race car driver want to roll off into the distance. We saw this earlier in the race.
The gloves are certainly off, and it is Honeycutt now who has control of this race with Majeski.
Honeycutt's pulling away a tad bit. He's probably got the biggest lead he's had on Majeski here all race.
Yep.
With 17 laps to go.
They are up on the wheel right now, and he better be. Ty Majeski looking for his third Derby win is in second, and he's falling back.
They're on pretty even laps right now, too. A 3.4 to a 3.6.
Running the 54 and 5th is Matt Craig. He's trying to hold off a hungry pack of challengers. Another 10th towards Caden Honeycutt's advantage. Stephen Nasty
3.8 to 4.1
one of the fastest cars
in
on
favor
the
of Honeycutt.
Really good on the short run. You're watching the battle for 5th through 9th right now. Aggressive, maybe the Snowball Derby caution. Caden Honeycutt right now, all windshield right now as he's leading the Snowball Derby with 15 to go.
Might be one of the first times we haven't seen William Sawalich in the 62 into the top 5. In fact, it looks like he rubbed the Hoosier lettering off the right front of that car. It's a restart contact fresh off the pit lane. Sawalich 6th. Ruggiero behind him. Here is the pair of Smiths going at it. Chandler Smith in the 2 car. Inside of Sammy Smith in the 8 off of turn number 2. This for 8th spot. Meanwhile, as they battle side by side, Caden Honeycutt and Ty Majeski pulling away, turning very equal laps that time by. Honeycutt 2/100ths of a second better, very equal times for the top 2.
Majeski's got to go the other way if he's going to have a chance at it here.
Back up front, your top 3. These are the factors. These are the players we're going to see with 13, now 12 to go.
Nasty's reeling in Majeski here. Honeycutt keeps pulling away.
His career has grinded, has struggled. At this racetrack, he's had highs and lows, but nothing higher than leading the Snowball Derby with 11 to go.
Nasty is closing the gap on Majeski right now. Majeski, that last green flag run was so good. So was Nasty, and they may have adjusted a little more on Nasty. He is closing quickly for the number 2 position. Should this race stay green, Nasty's going to have to make this pass really quickly. We'll see how patient he's willing to be. 10 laps to go in the Derby. Nasty all over Majeski.
10 to go, and Nasty's caught Majeski.
Continues to try to maintain about an 1/8 of a second advantage over this battle. Catching Majeski is going to be one thing. His car's still pretty good. Passing him is going to be another. Nasty gets down to the flat.
Majeski's a little
that
loose.
car really could turn in turn 4. He's to the bottom. He gives him room, does Majeski for second place.
Majeski about to lose something. We've never seen him so far today. Outside the top 2, Stephen Nasty all over the wheel. We see him in the camera to your right. Now watching the crew root on their driver, wanting to chase him down with 8 to go.
Barring a caution, it could end up being a mano-a-mano fight amongst the 21 of Honeycutt, the 51.
Nasty's gone.
Yeah, what's the laps look like here?
1.3 seconds was the margin last time by. Nasty trying to turn on the afterburner. 7 to go. We'll check the gap here as it comes to the stripe. And it's down to 1.2 seconds. He got a 10th, but he needs more. It's a sizable lead with only 7 laps to go, and they're all on fresh tires. Caden Honeycutt holding a pretty wheel at the front of the field. Nasty was 1/10 quicker last time by. This time, what will the gap of 1.2 go to as they cross the stripe?
Ooh, Craig and Gio going at it. Craig's got a tire rub.
Big smoke on the 54 at Craig. Intensity's up all over the field for spots instantly. Another 10th to Nasty. Last lap by. Now going to watch a second difference. Now 9/10. Anthony Camper, you see frustrated of some kind. Probably hoping on a yellow or something. But a lot of speed, but a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion with the Snowball Derby and less than 5 to go.
Caden Honeycutt already knows what his plans are for 2025. Carson, you already alluded to it as Canby continues to cheer on Nassie. That time around, 0.8 of a second the gap before Honeycutt embarks on his first full-time foray in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He wants to take the Tom Dawson Trophy and 50 grand along with him. 3 to go.
He's closing the gap by about 1/10 a lap, but he's running out of laps. He's down to 3 is Nassie. That time he took 2/10 off of it. It's 0.6 of a second. Honeycutt just has to be smooth, barring a big mistake. I think he's on his way to a Derby victory.
2 to go.
Laps to go for Caden Honeycutt. That time, Nassie much quicker. It's down to 0.4 of a second. Honeycutt is going to have to be perfect
Oh, man.
in the final stretch to what would be the biggest win of his career with the most determined driver in the field trying to get there.
Nobody using the seat they paid for. Everybody standing
He only doesn't have a shot to get there.
I don't think so either. He's going to have to dive bomb it. I mean, hard. Nope, missed it.
Victory for Caden Honeycutt. The Snowball Derby is his.
First time
Caden Honeycutt wins the Snowball Derby.
Texas has won the Snowball Derby. And look at the crew celebrating the effort for Caden Honeycutt after Stephen Nassie gave it everything in the final turn.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Nassie needed one more lap, came up just a couple of feet short in turn number 3. Caden Honeycutt
Damn.
pulls it off. An upset victory, we would consider this. It's not Majeski. It's not Thorne.
Especially after Majeski dominated.
It's not Nassie. It is Caden Honeycutt with an impressive run in the 21. What is that? 4 now winners in a row coming from the outside pole in the Snowball Derby.
Yeah, it's, as you said many a times, 2005, the last time a pole winner won it. What does it mean to win the Snowball Derby? Look at it right there. Caden Honeycutt said he was saving the best for last in what was his 4th and final race here on the weekend, and he wasn't lying to us. So much emotion for Caden Honeycutt watching this, watching his crew, the intensity, but it goes back to that restart. He absolutely nailed it through the restart box. He was basically picking up the tires, pushing the 91 across, went down into turn 1, made a little bit of contact, and able to make it matter when it counted most. And obviously, a really, really stellar job, and especially clicking off the laps. 100 slower. Stephen Nassie's to that back bumper entering 3 with a white flag. Knowing how much it means to Nassie, who knows what could have happened.
That just lined up perfectly for Caden Honeycutt, and he used his aggressiveness on the final restart to do what not many people can do, beat Ty Majeski. Such a good wheelman is Ty Majeski, but this guy here, Caden Honeycutt, turned heads all weekend long. He started.
Does that look like what I think it is?
I think so too.
Honeycutt soaking in the moment here.
He blew motor.
Out of the car. And
Yep.
you can see all the emotion and energy has just about caught up to him here in this moment as he is getting set to climb out of his race-winning car as a Snowball Derby winner in 2024. $50,000, the Tom Dawson Trophy going his way. We saw the emotion for the victory, and we just saw the emotion of defeat. Ty Majeski, Stephen Nassie, probably with the run of his life late in that race. We talked about how important I think it would have been to be on the second row, and he almost had enough time coming from the third row. That Stephen Nassie, so close, but just needed a little bit of more time.
My gosh, what a race over the final 3
Damn.
laps or so, that final restart. It got crazy up in the top 5, and that's why the Snowball Derby is such a popular race. 57 years of it, and Caden Honeycutt claims his first career victory.
A little bit of setup and preparedness for a celebration of this magnitude. Look at the masses of people that have come out here, many of which fans who parked in the infield to cheer this driver on. He's out of the car. We'll go down to Jim Trado in victory lane.
A dream come true for Caden Honeycutt. The 21-year-old gets the job done in the biggest super late model race in America. This team fought the fight here today. They get doused with some water in victory lane. Caden Honeycutt I remember when you came here as a kid out of Texas to run this track for the first time. I know how much this place means to you. How much does this victory mean today?
Man, it means more than just me winning. This one's for Jeff Sandlin. Golly, he worked so damn hard for me to race for Pat and Larry. This was the year, and we had it done. And unfortunately, he passed away, and he wasn't here to watch. But he was here watching from a better place, man. I just want to thank Larry and Pat for the opportunity, man. I wouldn't be here without them. Thank you for badass fans out there. Thank you guys. Never really have many fans, so it's good to hear that you guys are cheering for me. I appreciate it. But thanks Cook Electric, Happy Race Cars, LBM, Jeff Sandlin, Ernest Performance, Peters Racing Engines, man, just everybody that helps Larry and Pat on this deal. And damn it, man, I can't believe it. I've never won a super late model race until today. So I threw up a little bit, but it was just for me being excited, not for me worn out. But man, this is unbelievable. I can't believe it.
That's okay. It's pure emotion here today, dude. You had Stephen Nasse right there coming really hard at the end of this race to try to catch you. How aware were you?
Yeah, Fly was telling me 2 back, hard, tight. I was like, oh, shoot. I better throttle up here. So I basically did a burnout from all the way off forward to the checker to make sure I got it. But, man, Stephen had an opportunity to go and do something historic and go back-to-back from last night. And I just appreciate him racing me clean. You know, not many guys do that for the win nowadays. So props to him, props to everybody for a good race today. We had a pretty clean race today. So, man, I can't believe it. I was kind of worried on Saturday doing our runs, and JC kept me calm, cool, and collected, and he told us we were good. And also want to thank Weeder for all he's done for me to the end of this year in this late model deal and helping us out last night. And every single one of these guys, they work their damn asses off, and it takes a lot to win Derby.
Let's talk about this team. You have a lot of giant teams down here. Larry and Pat, they've been doing this for a really long time. Get you a new shirt down here in Victory Lane with that Flow Racing hat on as well. But I want to talk about this team, the little team that could here today in the 57th running of the Snowball Derby. How important is it for a team like this to beat some of the giants out there?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, especially when they want to prove a point that their stuff's good. So it for damn sure is good. So, man, like I said, Pat and Larry gave me an opportunity. I absolutely couldn't pass up. I love running for Pat. He's done a lot for my career and where I'm at right now. So I appreciate those two, and hopefully we can do more in the future and come back next year and maybe go back-to-back. But, yeah, it might be a little team, but they sure know how to get it done. They've had a lot of trophies on their fridge in the shop.
Are you ready for that kiss of the Snowball on top of the Tom Dawson Trophy? Will it be the best kiss of your life?
Yeah, for the second time this week, Bob.
Woo! Dave Honeycutt, the Cars Tour Pro Late Model Champion, now a Snowball Derby winner at Five Flags Speedway.
And what could have been for Stephen Nasse? He overcame damage from a restart Malachi crunch. He got his way to second.
This will be a good one.
Nope. He could see the white flag. And yet you came up one spot short. You're your best run in the Derby yet, Stephen. Your thoughts as you're fighting back those tears still.
Yeah, I'll tell you. This might even hurt worse than getting disqualified. And I was so close. But I will say it couldn't happen to a better group of guys. They they worked so hard. Pat Jett, Larry Blunt, Caden Honeycutt, man, he's a great driver and a great guy. I'm super proud of them because, we lost a good friend of ours, Jeff Sandlin, and I know how close they all were with him. We all were real close, but, they got our family over there with them, and it's tough. But you know what? Second place ain't bad at the Snowball, and we'll go on to next year, maybe get it then.
I was thinking to myself, this is Nasse time. Fresh tires, 25 to go. That car was unreal.
Yeah. The 08 jacked me up getting into one there out of nowhere, and that just ruined our chances. So, that let them guys get way ahead of me, and I couldn't catch back up. But, like I said, hats off to them. I appreciate him and Ty running me clean, and appreciate all you fans. We wouldn't be out here without you guys. I do all this for y'all. I love passing race cars. I love putting on a show. 30th to second ain't too bad.
It's a great show and
That's
a great effort and
30th to second.
Hospitality.
Yep.
He's over talking to Caden Honeycutt. He's also talking to Ty Majeski. He knows how hard it is to win or finish second or finish third here at the Derby, Bob.
And Ty Majeski comes up just a little bit short here today. You had a dynamite race car. What happened at the end of the race?
I don't know. We were probably just a little bit off on the short run, really all weekend. I know we, sat on the pole, but yeah, a little bit different conditions Friday night. We just in race trim, we didn't see that raw speed, and I kind of felt it all weekend. And the Snowball's an interesting race because it's long run, and it always comes down to a 20-lap shootout. So you have to have a good enough long run car to keep yourself in the game, and then a good short run car, or have the right adjustments to make your car go in the short run. And Caden was just a little bit better than us all day in the short run, and that's what it came down to today. So, yeah, we just weren't in the game at the end, but huge thank you to iRacing.com, Kevin from TKC Construction, everybody on this race team, Brad, Nancy Mansett still in this car, Todd Nagel, my current team owner. I love having the opportunity coming down to race Snowball Derbies. It's such a challenge. Like I always say, you can't ever be fast enough to win this thing. But just huge thank you to all the supporters, all the fans out there. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today.
You've been watching Caden Honeycutt celebrate in victory lane. You know that feeling of winning your first Snowball Derby. What is it like for him? What was it like for you? What is he going to remember about this day?
Oh, it's special. This is the pinnacle right here, this race of, short track racing. And anytime you can conquer that feat is very special. So Caden's a good kid. Look forward to racing him next year in the Truck Series. He's a racer, and it's good to have more racers in the Truck Series. So happy to be here. Happy to have the opportunity to sit on another podium. Just not quite enough today.
And it's nice for all of us who are super late model fans to have Ty Majeski, a 2-time Snowball Derby winner, as a NASCAR Truck Series.
There you have it.
Thanks, guys. And with that run from 30th to 2nd, Stephen Nassy is going to be the recipient of the Bobby Gill Hard Charger Award as Caden Honeycutt celebrates with the Snowball Derby race-winning ring, and posing for several photographs that he will be taking all throughout the remainder of this afternoon as the winner of the 57th running of the Snowball Derby, first Texas-born driver to go to victory lane and hoist the Tom Dawson Trophy and collect the largest first-place payout in this race's history, $50,000. Unbelievable run for Caden Honeycutt. A weekend ends with 2 victories.
Reactions recap.
The Snowball Derby, the Tom Dawson Trophy.
Caden showed up when he needed to.
Yep.
He had some instances where he led. Obviously, like Majeski was saying, he had a hell of a long run car, and that's when he could get around Honeycutt again.
Yep.
They were the class of the field, them 2 guys.
Yep, for sure. It's just gonna be a matter of, Nancy wouldn't have been buried so deep late. When he talked about having to be on the front 2 rows, that's what it came down to.
Yep, and having that issue right before that last restart, that last caution, maybe if he'd have been able to get around Raz, that's another spot that you don't have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
So
damn good race.
Yeah. The other thing too is that, to Majeski's point, you have to set for a long run car to get your track position throughout the race. But you're going to kind of screw yourself at the end of the race with a short run.
And it seems like every year it comes down to that short run. Everyone wants to have track position, but every year it comes down to a 20-lap run.
Yep, absolutely. So, overall great race, clean race, I would say.
Yeah. Yep, there really was no roughing up a bunch of people, and just kind of was some stack ups and check ups, and that was just part of the restarts. And your powerhouse teams had guys that had issues. When you talk about Donnie Wilson and particularly that camp team.
Derek Thorne.
Had issues.
Bubba kind of struggled towards the end.
Yep.
But like you mentioned, Donnie Wilson and Butcher, Gilliland had his issues, and Okresik had his issues, and
just a little attrition.
The magic of the Snowball Derby.
Yep. Well, there you have it. That's the Snowball Derby. Until we do this again,
tune into the Tuesday Track Talk.
Yep. Come at you every Tuesday morning. See you guys next week.